Welcome in to everybody watching and or listening to episode 0. This is technically supposed to be a test episode, but it's probably just going to end up being episode 1. Yeah. We're going to call it episode 0, though, of what are we calling our review show?
Oh, damn, putting us on the spot. That's a good question.
Yeah, I got to put you on the spot.
No, we were going to put us on the spot immediately.
Real reviews with ReelTime.
Real reviews with ReelTime?
Real reviews?
Real
I'm not going to lie, I actually
real
don't hate that.
reviews?
ReelTime, real reviews.
Okay. I like that.
Welcome to ReelTime, Real Reviews. Either way, anyway, no matter what the name is, even if we have to workshop it more, we are ReelTime Productions. We're a small production company, really a group. We're working on it. It's just a couple of guys, couple of friends who really love science fiction and fantasy writing. I'm looking at the wrong camera, big dog. Maybe not. We'll figure it out. We've got a kind of a jank setup going on today, but we're going to try and get a podcast episode recorded for you guys. We're going to be doing this hopefully monthly for this series, where we'll be doing movie reviews. I know next month we're trying to get in to see Supergirl, not Woman of Tomorrow, just Supergirl, based off of the Woman of Tomorrow.
Great comic, by the way.
And we will also be reviewing that. But today, to kind of get it all started and to kind of get us going... Ooh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting way ahead of myself. I introduced the company, but I'm Nick.
I'm Chandler.
I'm also Nick.
We're figuring that out, too.
Yeah.
One of us is going to keep the name, and one of us is going to get a legal name change.
Yeah, as of right now, y'all can call me producer.
We need to get 100 followers, and then
get a legal name change.
We'll get 100
At 100 followers, we're gonna box live on stream. Whoever wins gets to keep the name Nick.
Today we are reviewing Spider-Man: No Way Home in preparation for Spider-Man: Brand New Day, which is coming out in July, just a couple months. Fellas, we're gonna start with a spoiler-free review first. For the first few minutes of the episode, sorry.
Yeah.
If you can give me your broad review of what you thought of the film, I guess we'll start. I started with Chandler last time, so we'll start with Nick.
Okay. All right. So, broad review, spoiler free. It's a good movie. It is, by my personal definition, it's a good movie. Sorry, y'all doing that in sync was funny.
It's pretty spoiler-free so far, Nick.
Yeah, but...
it's a good film.
It's a good movie. And, I mean, has it aged well from when I first saw it in opening weekend in theaters? Not really. Is there some more glaring issues that I've noticed this time? Yes. Is it still a lot of fun? Absolutely. But, yeah.
I would almost edit what I just said to be like, is it a great film? No. Is it a great movie? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The TLDR, the alternate title for this movie should be Spider-Man Fan Service.
Spider-Man, fuck yeah.
Spider-Man, fuck yeah.
Spider-Man Cube.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spoiler free, you fucks.
Spider-Man. Oh my.
Chandler. Spoiler-free thoughts on Spider-Man: No Way Home?
I think, very similar to what we were just talking about. I feel like this is the Spider-Man movie for Spider-Man fans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's pretty much the way that I put it. That's the way that I kind of see this movie. It's like, this is the fan service. You wanted to get your Spider-Man movie in the MCU with all the characters. Won't go to
He's floating dangerously close. He's floating dangerously close.
Okay, if it was in the trailers, it's fair game.
There was a lot of things in the trailers.
We're gonna get
to that.
We're gonna get there.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I would agree. Sorry, any more?
No, I think. I mean, I would. There's a lot we can talk about this movie.
Of course.
And again, there's a couple frustrations that I have with it, almost, especially on the second time around.
Okay.
But as far as it, brief synopsis, your Spider-Man movie.
Was this your second time ever watching it?
I don't think so. I mean,
okay.
I haven't.
I definitely saw it maybe once or twice out of
like,
theaters as well.
Yeah.
It's the second time that I sat down and was like,
this one,
I'm going to seriously watch
we have this very beautiful comic book that we're going to figure out how to put up on the set later,
nice
but
it is.
Today it's not going to be here.
Yeah. Well, hey, here, let's see.
Put it right there.
Okay, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, perfect.
And
if we were live, if anyone asked.
Spoiler free for Spider-Man: No Way Home. This is a movie with some pretty glaring issues and plot holes
Mm-hmm.
that is so much fun that I kind of don't care about them.
Yeah, definitely.
They kind of like pop into my mind and then they're gone the next minute that we
Yep.
pop into the next flashy
Yeah.
scene, the next thing's happening. So I really enjoyed this viewing of Spider-Man No Way Home, though I do think the luster has worn off a bit
Yeah.
since the marketing hype for this film, since like the theater experience for the movie.
Yeah. All of the expectations surrounding it, especially when it was coming out.
Yeah. Oh my. I mean, I'll say that's one thing that is interesting for me is I was so deep in the know about what was going on with Spider-Man No Way Home before it came out. I was dissecting those trailers, watching them over and over, like frame by frame. Anecdote. I had a theory when one of the trailers came out. I don't remember if it was the first or second like trailer that revealed. Sorry, we're getting out of spoiler-free territory at this point, guys. I don't know if it was
It's a movie review
the
podcast.
first or second trailer that came out, but it had a line at the end that in the film is spoken by Doctor Strange, where he says, "Be careful what you wish for, Parker." I swear the take that they used in the trailer was much more sinister. I thought that shit was James Franco. I thought for sure. I was in a room with my friends and I stood up and I started pointing at the TV like a fucking Pepe Silvia board, and I was like, "It's James Franco! She's gonna come back as the new Goblin!" Mind you, this was before I knew the allegations against James Franco. But with that being said, I was pretty in the know for No Way Home. I am really not for Brand New Day. I saw the trailer when they dropped it like a month or two ago, and I've seen it one more time since then when I was like, oh, what was that thing that was in the trailer from like a month ago? But I've seen it twice, and I kind of remember bits and pieces of the trailer. I'm going in pretty blind as far as the trailers go this time around, as opposed to No Way Home, where I had some expectations.
Something that this is I'm going to do a quick side thing.
Yep.
I feel like that's also a thing about the MCU as a whole nowadays. It feels like nothing. The MCU doesn't feel like an event anymore. And don't get me wrong, that's a cultural shift. But I also feel like a lot of movies the past few years, because it took me a very long time to finally get there and admit it. The MCU is nowhere. I always knew it was nowhere near as good. But the last few years, the past couple of years, I definitely finally come to terms with this. Definitely isn't the same as it was pre-Endgame.
You want to know what? I'm going to give a hot take right now. I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think you're dead wrong, and I think Doomsday is going to prove it. I think everybody felt that way about the MCU before Avengers as well.
Well, all right. When I say like an event, I mean it's like, oh, you had like back in the day, you had a new MCU movie drop.
Right.
Everyone was going.
Not true.
I mean, for the most part.
I think because we've had a reset after Endgame, which brought us to a really weird point with what characters were available and what characters we were telling stories about. It's put us back in kind of a similar spot. Do you remember what the sentiment around Iron Man was when Iron Man came out? Nobody fucking knew who Iron Man was.
Oh yeah, well, because at the time the Avengers, the characters of the Avengers,
Right.
like the team,
Yep.
that was a B-list team.
Exactly.
Because at the time, I mean, it
So
was,
think about the characters that were.
It was
putting out now.
X-Men and Fantastic Four. It was 1 and 2. Actually, no, it was 2 and 3, and then you had Spider-Man as number 1.
Yep.
Right.
But they didn't have access to those characters
Nope.
for the MCU.
And they
so
barely
they made
had access
movies
to
about
Spider-Man.
characters that people didn't really care about
Yep.
and made them care about them.
Oh yeah.
And then we didn't realize that we cared about the characters as much as we did until Avengers comes around and shows us all of them together, and we get that fucking hero shot moment
Yep.
of them going in a circle.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a similar thing when it comes to going into Doomsday, where we realize that the projects from this last phase have actually been building to something. That's maybe wishful thinking, I'll admit that. But I do think that there's a chance that that could happen, and that we just don't see the threads pulled together yet.
Yeah.
There's definitely the stuff with Kang, which brings it down. I won't deny that. There's like that weird stopgap where now we're talking about like a couple TV shows that kind of don't matter,
Yeah.
a couple movies that kind of don't matter.
Yeah.
now.
I will say some of that is, I hate that recently they kind of retroactively decided, this is something I've lost a lot of respect for Disney / Marvel over. I think they kind of let a lot of the online haters win.
I agree, but
Because I think that they have decided, sorry, last
no,
thing
you're
I'll
good.
say.
Go ahead.
instead of going back and instead of, I'm not saying fix the mistakes. I think it is a ass move to just be like, yeah, they just didn't happen anymore. There is only one thing that I can agree needs to be struck from MCU canon, and that's because it breaks a lot of MCU lore, and that's Secret Invasion.
Yeah. Secret Invasion's rough.
It was bad. Like it was genuinely bad.
They're gonna announce that Secret Invasion was a separate universe, it will be retroactively. It'll be like a let's patch over this and fix this hole. But I think that would be smart of them to do because it doesn't fit.
Yeah, well, and it
cuts off so many storylines for no reason.
Yeah, and then like killing one of like damn near the founding characters of the MCU, Maria Hill, in the first episode.
Right, we can't get into spoiler cast.
Anyway.
For
a show we're not even talking about today.
Okay,
we're not even talking about today.
Hey,
chat.
Real quick.
We might even cut that. We might even cut that.
Anyone at home? Don't watch Secret Invasion.
Don't watch it.
That show,
it's not worth it.
Trash.
Not worth it.
That's the only show I've...
But here at ReelTime today, we were reviewing a movie that is not good. Secret Invasion, and that is good in a couple ways, and not so good in a couple other ways. Mm-hmm. And that movie, No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, has some inspirations. And here at ReelTime, we kind of want to dig a little bit deeper than you might see in some other podcasts that are just reviewing the movie. So we're going to dig into a little bit of the source material behind No Way Home. So I'm going to introduce you guys. Have either of you guys read this comic right here? Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, there is a Spider-Man version, but this is just Civil War.
Yes, I have.
You have read Civil
War?
It
was a long time ago.
A long time ago. Same for me. I reread parts of it over this last week as I got ready for this episode. But I'm going to give you guys just kind of a brief synopsis of a couple things from that, because it's kind of a background for what we need for the comics that are inspiring No Way Home. Basically, Civil War is somewhat similar to how it plays out in the MCU, if you guys remember the Sokovia Accords.
Yep,
a little bit different, though. This one is called the Superhero Registration Act. Basically, there was a team of younger mutants who went out and did a poor job at stopping a crime. They were essentially trying to Twitch stream while they were stopping crime, and one of them, like, nuked a part of, like, Queens.
Well, not even just nuke. He was the nuke.
He was the nuke. Yeah, he was like a nuclear mutant
Yeah.
And nuked part of Queens. And this causes a whole sort of uproar where the Superhero Registration Act is brought in, basically saying kind of the same thing that the Sokovia Accords say, which is that superheroes need to be held accountable. We need to know who they are. They need to be like they need to be on a list, essentially.
Yeah. Right.
Main difference essentially being that the comics is much more focused around like the mutant of it all, as opposed to like just the general hero of it all. And the Sokovia Accords is much more talking about like it doesn't mention mutants because we don't have mutants in the MCU at that point.
It's basically superpowered people in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
During the run of this, Captain America and Iron Man do split to different sides. I'm trying to remember if I'm correct about this. Captain America is on the side like he is in the film of saying, no, we need to be in charge of our own destiny here. We cannot sign this. I believe in the book it's much more in his mind or even out loud about people's safety and being like, no, people have secret identities for a reason. Like, we don't need to be under a government umbrella.
Right.
Basically, Tony Stark convinces Peter Parker to get on live television and take off his mask. So Peter Parker gets on live television, and you'll probably see a splash screen somewhere on screen if you're watching the pod of the panel where it happens. Peter Parker gets on live television. At this point, he is a good bit older. He's with Mary Jane. They're married at this point in the comics. He gets on stage, he takes off his mask, and he says, "My name is Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man since I was 15 years old." Which blows open the door on a whole bunch of shit. Follow-up of this in I believe it's the Spider-Man Civil War story, but it might even just be an Amazing Spider-Man issue. I'm not really sure. I'm pretty new to comics, chat, so I'm kind of getting we're not streaming right now. I'm pretty new to comics, so kind of getting some more info on them. I'll be learning as we go along, so forgive me. But an issue dealing with the ramifications of Peter unmasking himself on live television comes when the Kingpin sends a sniper for Peter. And the sniper misses and hits Aunt May. So Aunt May is lying in a hospital bed. She is not doing well, and this leads us into a story, a pretty unpopular story, a very unpopular story called One More Day. You guys are Spider-Man fans, so you might have even heard of this before in passing.
My roommate Caleb, who at some point is likely going to be on this podcast.
Next episode on ReelTime Reviews.
My roommate Caleb. When they announced the name Brand New Day for the next Spider-Man movie, he was optimistic.
Well, so
cautiously optimistic.
I'll explain exactly
very
why.
concerned.
So Spider-Man One More Day, which is the comic that is not well received. Essentially, Peter is trying desperately to save Aunt May, but he can't figure it out. The thing he's hung up on most in all of this is that it's his fault. That the bullet was meant for him. She didn't die of old age. She didn't die of a heart attack. She's not, she didn't slip and fall in the kitchen, and she didn't have a brain injury.
Yep.
This is on him. Somebody came to shoot Peter, and they hit May. Peter is trying desperately. He goes to Tony Stark at one point to get him to pay for May's medical care. It really comes down to a deal with the devil, pretty literally. Peter and MJ make a deal with Mephisto. Do you know who Mephisto is?
No, I'm not.
Mephisto is like a Doctor Strange Satan.
Sure.
Essentially. I don't know if he's actually Doctor Strange. He's magic Satan.
Yeah.
Satan's pretty
Satan.
magic, but MCU Satan.
Yeah.
MCU Satan.
And he does bargains, and he does Rabbit's Paw, or is it Rabbit's Paw?
Monkey's Paw.
Monkey's Paw.
Monkey's Paw.
He does Monkey's Paw deals and such. And he offers them a deal. May's life for the stitch in time that exists as their marriage. So Mephisto's literally going to dig into time and just pull at the threads that exist that are their marriage and just erase it from having ever happened.
The marriage of
Peter Parker and Mary Jane.
Oh, okay, because they're married at this point. Gotcha.
In giving them this deal, Mephisto shows them a projection of a daughter that they could have had. It's really fucked up. We'll throw that panel up there on the screen too. Oh my god, it was rough to read. Okay, essentially, Peter at this point is like, no, we probably shouldn't make the deal. MJ is like, you know what? No, we should make the deal. May needs this, and also she turns to Mephisto and says, I want to sweeten the deal. She whispers something to Mephisto. We don't know what it is.
Still to this day.
We do know what it is now, but
Okay.
it's a bad conclusion. We'll get there. We whisper something to Mephisto that we're not let in on. Mephisto actually seems... He loves it. He's like, ooh. And you're like, well, what could a mortal like MJ offer Mephisto that he would be so intrigued by? Which is why the answer to that question sucks so bad. Because it's a bad
of
answer.
course, it's not something that we want to get rid of.
But with the extra bit that she offers Mephisto, the trade is that Peter gets his identity back as well. He gets his secret identity, and he gets May Parker back. The deal goes through.
We still don't know what she's offered.
Right.
She's not offered anything. She's
We
not
don't
being
know what
offered.
she offered.
We don't know what she offered. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know what she offered Mephisto.
Yeah.
The deal goes through. Peter wakes up. He's in Aunt May's house. She's alive. She's downstairs. She's cooking. He goes to a party at Harry Osborn's house where he sees MJ and they act very coldly towards each other. And he meets a couple other women. And the comic book ends, and the next issue starts an arc called Brand New Day.
Huh.
So instead of just them not being married, it's like they just haven't.
They never.
They never.
Well,
They never got together.
I think they did get together. They just specifically didn't go far enough to get married because it's mentioned. I think Flash Thompson says to Peter at the party, like, "Oh, MJ's still being cold to you." So they know each other.
Yeah.
They've talked. Maybe they've dated. Maybe they were just friends. But Peter seems to think that she's mad at him. So pretty interested to see where that leads us, especially having rewatched the Brand New Day trailer, and seeing how
Doctor Strange is Mephisto.
Doctor Strange is Mephisto confirmed. Well, so there's one more story called One Day in Time, I think. I'm not sure. It's not on Marvel Unlimited, friends.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to read it because it's not on there. Basically, people hated this story so much that a writer whose name I cannot remember went back and wrote like a fix for it in. And essentially he decided, and I'm getting this info from another YouTube channel that I watched a video on this book, so I will put their name right above our heads right here. And I'll probably add in like an audio bite of me saying their name. I'm so sorry that I can't remember the name right now. But essentially the thing that he decided was wrong with that comic book was that people were mad that Peter made a deal with the devil. That was the problem.
Oh, it was
that
one
was
of those?
no, that was the problem. Is that
Oh,
Peter
okay.
made a deal with the devil. So they had MJ. They revealed what MJ had whispered to Mephisto, and supposedly it was, "I will make this deal with you, but I know Peter never will. So I'll do it only if you're not involved with the deal." Some fucking loop around,
Okay.
back ass word shit. Which I think is how Doctor Strange gets involved, and it does become Doctor Strange, which is a little bit more parallel to the movie. But I think it's more interesting to talk about One More Day, because
Yeah.
it seems like, as much as it's not liked in the community, it wasn't a bad comic book to read. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah, and probably it's pretty nice when you're out of it. So I'm not sitting there thinking about, like, well, my favorite characters are broken up in the mainline series now. I'm not reading the mainline series in time. So, with that being said, we have some information on that now.
Yep.
We've talked about
got
the
a background.
background. We've given our little spoiler-free review. We're going to move into a plot recap section of the podcast. Now, anybody watching this, if you've ever seen any in-review content from Kind of Funny Games or Kind of Funny here on YouTube or on Twitch, then you will be very familiar with this format. We're aping it from them pretty much. I love that show very, very much. So I'm going to do my very best to emulate what they're able to do there. I think it'll be good for our podcast. The format may change for this show as well, as we kind of decide what works, what you guys like seeing, what you don't like seeing. But basically, I sat down and watched Spider-Man No Way Home 2 nights ago with a mug of mulled wine, which I have another one now, and I got very drunk as I wrote this recap. So we'll see how it stands up as we
see
get
how it
towards the
stands up.
bottom of this.
You're like, wait a minute. that
And
didn't
maybe it'll
happen.
stand up less because I'll get drunk again.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll stand up better.
Oh, so Spider-Man No Way Home. We open
Away.
We open with a light recap of what happened at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. We get the little bit of Quentin Beck popping up. Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. What the? Which is still great. And then we also move in and we see J. Jonah Jameson's face as he reveals to the world that Peter Parker is in fact Spider-Man. We get some civil unrest in the town, in Times Square, as people start like just grabbing for MJ. Peter swings down there to grab her and get her out of there. Did you guys see the fucking lady jump off of that car to try and grab
Yes,
Peter?
That one. Yep.
So funny. For no, like, it's just there.
They swing up to the top of that thing, and also I love that MJ hates web swinging in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's so fun because why would that be fun for somebody who's not in control?
No,
Like,
absolutely.
I feel like you get a version of car sick that you can't even really describe.
Yeah.
We get up onto the big the big bridge area where all the helicopters are flying over. We get the
Dude!
great line from Ned and Peter going back and forth.
Dude.
Dude.
MJ, dude!
They start swinging home, trying to get back to Peter's apartment. Cut to Happy Hogan. I just thought you were happy. Saddest breakup in all of television, by the way. John Favreau has like a defeated puppy look on his eyes, and
really
specifically
does.
the line he says, she says, "We'll hang out again," and he says, "When do you think that is?"
So when do you think that'll be?
when do you think
And
that'll
she's
be?
like,
Yeah.
never,
I mean,
dude. Like,
to
come
be
on.
fair, when you're fumbling her.
You're fumbling Marissa Tomei?
Yeah.
100% happy.
Yeah.
We hear a crashing behind, so they go to investigate that. Peter and MJ are in the room. They're like, he's trying to get his suit off, and May thinks it's a sex thing. They go back out into the living room.
Oh, yeah. But specifically, they're going, oh my god, I don't know what to do.
Oh my
Oh my
God,
god.
oh my God.
Wait. wait, but maybe if you pull it like this and open the door.
I didn't even notice that before.
Well, it honestly surprises because everybody in this apartment knows that he's Spider-Man. You know,
Everybody in this apartment knows about sex.
we all
Okay. Everybody in here has heard about sex.
We all know what's going on. One of the two, and both are acceptable for their ages.
But no, and then I love the shot of like her opening the door, and they're both like MJ has her arms around her, like trying to like console him. He doesn't have a shirt on.
Well, she goes to MJ too, and she goes, "Hi, MJ. It's so nice to meet you." Peter's trying to stop them from seeing everything outside, so he's running around the room like trying to close the blinds. At one point, he like steals their phones from me. He's like, "I just want to talk to you for 4 minutes, please,
about your relationship."
They see the newscast. They're watching. They realize what's happened. Peter's identity has been revealed by Mysterio. Peter has a line where he says like, "Maybe it won't be so bad." Cut to J. Jonah Jameson in the shitty studio.
J. Jonah Jameson, like it seems like podcast bro. That's like what it is.
He's full pod. Like, I'll be honest. It makes me kind of sad because I miss the newsroom.
Yeah.
Right.
We get none of that, and I'm not saying they should have aped Raimi's newsroom, but there was something special about that for the character and like the managed chaos that was going on around him.
It felt iconic in the same way that the Daily Planet did in the old Superman movies.
Yeah,
because that newsroom was iconic.
And I think it could be really fun. I kind of hope to see it in Brand New Day if we get a lot of JJJ. It'd be fun to like maybe put him in like the newsroom of like a blog and have him working with like a lot of really young people and just have him be like super boomer about it and upset that like things aren't the way that they used to be. Not like grumpy old man, but more in so of just like a way of like this used to be real news, or we used to be real news, now it's a fucking blog. But yeah, I do miss that. We get Department of Damage Control showing up at May's house.
Quick side note. Fuck the Department of Damage Control. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, they're doing tactics. They're doing hardball tactics. May I think it's really fun that we get a lot of like just there's more commentary in Marvel movies than I think we give them credit for sometimes. And they're not always like on the nose, right?
Yeah.
But the scene where May opens the door and they are like, we're going to do a search, and she's like, well, no, you're not going to do a search, and immediately before she can get her words out, they're like, boys, and they like push past her, and now they're destroying everything in the house. They pull them in for their interviews, and I love they're doing different tactics. They've got hardball tactics with MJ and May, and then when Ned walks in, they're like, hey, Ned, how you doing? Can somebody get Ned a drink? Ned's been in here for like a half hour, man. How are you doing?
I'm so sorry about that.
They just
like, are you okay?
He spills all the beans.
We get the turn where he goes, so you were the main accomplice in Spider-Man's illegal vigilantism, and he goes, I would like my word stricken from the record.
I like my word stricken from the record.
It looks like Stark Industries is getting caught up in the Department of Damage Control investigation as well.
Yeah.
Enter Matt Murdock, baby. And I'll be honest, when I saw No Way Home, I hadn't seen the Daredevil show yet.
Really?
So I'd seen like bits and pieces. I knew who he was. I knew who the actor was playing Daredevil. So when he showed up in the film, I was like, whoa, it's fucking Daredevil.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen the show yet. It wasn't until after I was like, oh, let me go watch that. Let me go see what Daredevil's about. Fantastic show. Here's a little Easter egg. I don't know if you guys know this or not. If you watch kind of closely as Matt Murdock goes to catch the object that flies through the window, the brick, it's not a brick. The brick is digitally edited in.
What?
It was a globe originally. It was a snow globe.
Huh.
You can tell. I've seen the before image as well, which is why I'm like 99% sure I'm right about what I'm saying. But the way his hand is holding it as well, you can tell that it's not a brick.
Yeah.
It's like a sphere that he's holding in his hand.
Yeah.
Another quick small detail. Both Matt and Peter go to catch it.
Yep.
But Matt was like a hair
faster.
quicker.
I think he was just closer, yeah.
Well, he was closer, but it's also seeing. I remember watching a breakdown years ago. You actually see his hand move ever so slightly before Peter's.
Well, let's break down the powers. Why does that happen? There's a reason. Because Peter's spider senses work on a danger sense, whereas Matt Murdock's senses are working on like a volumetric sense. So as soon as that thing comes near the window, it's alerting him. I don't think it alerts Peter until it's on trajectory to hit Peter.
Well, yeah, which is fair. I think Also, to be fair, MCU Peter's spider sense very nerfed.
Pretty nerfed. I would say
we had that cool scene in Far From Home, like at the end. That was a phenomenal scene.
There's a great spider sense.
There's a great spider sense scene in this
movie
one
as well.
We'll get there.
I love the cinematography. We'll get there.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I have that written down too.
But May and Peter end up having to move in with Happy because of the issues with people coming around, throwing bricks through the window, throwing globes through the window. And as Peter's looking through the storage room at Happy's place, a newscast can be heard in the background talking about how they're putting the shield on the Statue of Liberty. I didn't hear that before.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Another thing. When they're talking to Happy, or when Matt's talking to Happy, I know this is like a more obvious thing, but he's bringing up the stolen tech.
Yeah.
And then we almost
in the apartment.
immediately find it.
Yeah, it's literally.
Yeah.
And Peter has a great line too, where he goes back there and he goes, "Oh,
He's like,
happy." He's like, "It's right here. This is what he's talking about. It's in your fucking apartment.
Yeah.
Like you can't do this."
Yeah.
And I'm interested. Why does Happy have it?
It's a fabricator, right?
It's a fabricator. Why does Happy?
Why
keep
does
it?
Happy need the fabricator?
And I don't know if there's a right answer for this. I'm curious what you guys think the answer for this is.
I have a theory that I'm thinking off the top of my head. What if this is one that he has a fond memory of using with Stark?
I was also thinking it was probably a sentimental reason because I was like,
sure.
what would Happy need with a fabricator?
Yeah.
like
He wasn't using it.
Happy's not an invention guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's around tech a lot, but he's not like a invention guy. Also, great detail that Happy, being the security guy, has all the locks and everything on his door.
Yep. Has like the really jank security system.
Yeah.
We get that great scene as well with MJ and Peter on the phone and Happy on the chair behind them with his like sleep.
Yeah, the
apnea
CPAP machine.
He's sitting back there. He goes, "We're not covering any new ground. I need to get my sleep."
Yep. But
then-
I also love. I don't know. I love small, like weird, like it's not intimate in like a lovey way, but intimate is like, hey, these characters know each other way. When Peter goes, say hi, MJ, and she goes hi, and he goes, hi.
Well, and
like
I love,
instead of being more annoyed.
I love yeah, he does just respond in kind of like, "Hi, MJ. Now turn off the phone, please, Peter."
Yep.
I love how close they have come, but their chemistry is so very different from the chemistry that we get in the Amazing Spider-Man films, which is like that's raw fuck chemistry right there. Like, you're watching somebody you're not supposed to be. Okay, like, get out of their way because they need to go find a closet immediately. This is a much more like innocent love. It feels like. But in not in like a childish way.
Yeah.
But in a way that like it doesn't feel like these characters have like extreme sexual tension.
Yeah.
But I apologize. They have a rapport that is impressive where like Peter will say, "I like your optimism." She's like, "Well, I am such a glass half full kind of girl." Like,
which they all know what they're talking about in that situation. Innocent. That's the way I would describe it.
Well, I think it's also refreshing seeing, especially in the past like decade with shows like Euphoria, watching high school age characters be high school age characters.
Oh yeah.
Like shows like Riverdale, Euphoria.
They all like age the characters up in terms
like
of their like
13
Euphoria's
Reasons
a great
Why.
example too because she's in that one too. You know? Zendaya's there as well.
Yeah.
She's not in 13 Reasons Why.
No, Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Why did I say 13 Reasons Why?
I don't know.
That's a good question, dog.
Yep.
We're gonna continue.
Yep.
Whoops. We're gonna continue with. We're gonna have to cut that out of the video before we get a warning tag on the YouTube video.
That's one you can't bring up.
Cut to first day of school. People are being fucking awful outside of the school, by the way. One guy in particular I want to mention, MJ, do you want to have his spider babies? Those are kids.
Those are kids.
Those are kids, man.
What's bad?
They're just kids.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just adding on.
I was just gonna say, back when I first watched that movie, I was like, okay, that was there. But rewatching it, I realized that's unfortunately how people act towards.
And that's what I liked about it, is that it did feel like a parallel that they were drawing between like the way that people feel comfortable treating celebrity and how it seems like celebrity seems to dissolve the other barriers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like any other child, you'd be like, you can't fucking say that to a kid. You can't even really say that to an adult, right? Like, but the idea that because he's now a public figure, that not only is his sexual life on the table for discussion, but also his very normal human girlfriend sounds bad, chat. His very normal underage girlfriend that he is also underage dating. Her sexual activity is now available for debate and conversation, which is really gross, and it does exist in our reality. So I'll admit it does stand out a bit when you watch the film, but I like it because it stands out because it's real.
Yeah. Another thing, I had a big note I wanted to about this scene. I think that then there's a shot of Peter. There's a shot of Peter walking down, and you see the people in the background.
Yep.
I was sitting there thinking, "Damn, this should have been the lead up to a court scene."
Yep, I agree.
Like,
it felt like a lead up to a court scene.
Yep.
I'll say as well,
especially in the trailers.
In the background of that, because in the trailers they have that same shot, and in the background there's the guy with the sign with the Peter Parker with devil horns.
Yep.
A lot of people thought that was where they were going to bring Mephisto in. They thought that was like a sign that was pointing towards Mephisto.
To be fair, it was a weird time for the MCU.
Weird time for the MCU.
Well, everything looked like they were bringing Mephisto.
Well, we had Mephisto teased in WandaVision and in a couple other things.
And then we thought he was getting, and then and then he weirdly felt like he got teased in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
and then Loki, all of a sudden everything was Mephisto.
Well, we move now to a scene with the teachers, which I fucking laughed out loud at, but only once. I felt like the scene was kind of overstaying its welcome until Hannibal Buress went, I know what you did.
Yeah.
And then I fucking died laughing because that shit is awesome. We go to a rooftop scene with Ned and MJ.
Actually, there is a shot I do love right before that. Kind of from Peter's perspective. I think it is.
As we walk down the hallway.
Yeah, well, as it goes...
The crowd is separating.
Yeah, well, as it goes from the shot of the teachers, because we don't see the hallway at all. And then just the pan and the music shifts slightly to going from this, really goofy, funny, but weirdly tragic scene to, now we are showing the audience, his life is not the same.
It feels like a circus act. It kind of feels like they're all observing a circus act, and the music I think backs that up in that moment. The score really backs up that idea.
Yeah. It feels like a more tragic version of, what was it? I forgot what it was.
We're gonna have to move on, Nick, because we got
absolutely.
of stuff to get through, buddy.
Sorry, that was just a big note I had.
Yeah,
finally,
I want to mention one more thing on that scene is all of the characters in the hallway have their phones out as well.
Yeah,
they're recording.
They're all taking videos.
So it's not just them; it's the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's literally everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So
finally, some privacy. It's so crazy down there. Ned is a third wheel to both Peter and MJ, and they never treat him like one, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
There are multiple moments in this movie where he walks in and completely cockblocks Peter, and not a single. They don't shoot him a dirty look. They don't give him a comment. They're just like, yeah, Ned's here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done trying to kiss now. Ned's here.
No, I love that they're actually friends.
They're actually friends. Yeah, they all like
Yep.
each other very much. We get the mention of Boston Spider-Man, baby. And then we get a pretty somber college rejection compilation, I guess. As one by one, the trio gets rejected from multiple schools and then eventually from MIT for their involvement with Peter Parker as Spider-Man. You get a cool cut, or not even a cool cut, just a good cut to Peter where you can see that immediately he blames himself. That it's not even a question. There's no, you can see in his brain that the logic path that he jumps through isn't, well, I was doing the right thing and then my friends got hurt. It's immediately my friends got hurt. It's my fault.
yes,
I think if Ned hadn't read his out loud, the whole in light of recent controversies thing, like that, I think that line is truly what kind of set off a bunch of the events of this movie.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But then, before we have a moment to really sit with the somberness, we get no sleep till Boston as Flash Thompson walks through the door.
What, you guys
didn't get in? He takes off out of there because it's now awkward. They didn't get in with him.
because we're actually friends with Peter Parker, motherfucker.
As they all kind of separate to go their own ways, Peter sees are these just Halloween lights that they've painted a little goatee on each one? Is what it kind of looks like. Or
I think so.
Actual Doctor Strange lights. So they don't look a whole lot like Doctor Strange, except for the fact that there's a witch with a goatee.
that is something I love. Those slight in-universe world building things, because you know that like
the diner owner, like the donut shop owner, got like $10 little string lights, and he made one of his employees just draw a little triangle on him with Sharpie.
No. I think that there's a store bought like that.
You think so?
I think so.
I'd be interested to find out.
Just because there's a lot of Avengers merch, as we've seen in other shows.
This is true.
Yeah.
Peter sees this, and he goes to see Doctor Strange, thinking that maybe Strange can help. And showing up, they open the door to the sanctum. It is snowing inside, and there's 2 people shoveling the snow. And my question is, are they training? Are they being punished? Who are they? Like,
I think they just...
What are they doing?
They're probably just students.
Yeah,
but I have the funny...
Is it like wax on, wax off, you think?
No.
No? They're just shoveling snow?
2 grunts.
I have like a for fun kind of headcanon. They're just 2 people. They're like, hey, y'all need some money?
They're just contractors. They're regular contractors.
Man off the street type interviews.
Yep.
Hey, we got a problem, you guys.
Hey, you want to come shovel some snow?
So Peter does
in the summer,
ask
inside the building.
Yeah.
Peter does ask Strange, but Strange doesn't have the time stone anymore, obviously, after the events of Endgame, so he can't help until Wong says a thing that reminds him of the runes of Kafka, which he says is a standard spell of forgetting.
Yep.
Peter and him go down into a little basement area, and they get this cool little floating table. Both geniuses in the room, by the way, neglect to set the parameters of this spell before they start casting.
Neither of them.
Okay, both of these fucking geniuses in this room, and neither one of them... Strange doesn't look at Peter and go, hey, Peter, by the way, before I start casting this spell, is there anything maybe specific about the way I cast it that we should go over? Everybody's going to forget your Spider-Man, that's what we want to do, right?
So,
he doesn't say that to Peter.
Yeah.
Peter doesn't say to Strange, hey, so by forget, does that mean everybody or 6 random people get to also know too?
So I have a couple notes on that. One, that is extremely in character for Doctor Strange. He's very arrogant, so he definitely came down there like, yeah, we're just gonna do this. Wong, which by the way, this being the Sorcerer Supreme, that's a choice. But then I remember
he blipped.
I remember they made the explanation. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, he's doing his thing of like, yeah, I'm gonna come down here, the Sorcerer Supreme. He basically gave me permission without he didn't say no. I'm just gonna do it. And then you see Peter realize, oh, I should probably... It's like then he realized it after it starts.
Yeah.
Now, I think the way he was like, oh, this person, and then this person. Yes, that was dumb. He should have been like,
well,
at first.
Even at that point, when he says one person, doesn't Strange stop and go, okay, anybody else we want to add to the fucking spell before I start the second casting, and then the third casting, and then the fucking fourth casting?
Yep.
And also, the fucking fifth.
A great line read from Benedict Cumberbatch where Peter goes, happy? No, I'm annoyed.
Yeah. I also love the subtle line of like, oh, and Ned too, and he goes, What is a net? Like, but as he's still perfectly casting the spell at that point. But as it goes on, you see him struggle more.
Oh yeah. I'll say I noticed this in the theaters, and I definitely went back and scrubbed through and like saw them after the viewing in the theaters. The astral figures that appear in the sky towards the end of the film.
Yes.
I didn't realize Scorpion shows up now.
Yeah.
I didn't see that the first time around. That was
we see Scorpion, we see Rhino. Those are the 2 that I could actually like make out.
Yeah. I know I see Kraven at the end.
Okay.
And I've seen Kraven and Rhino and Scorpion. Yeah. Those are the only thing I can really think of that I like can for sure say that's who that is.
Yeah.
We get the first mention of the call me, or the second mention. Sorry, I missed it earlier. Earlier he says, "Don't call me sir." Right now we get the pullback on that. Call me sir.
Yep.
Right. No, I'm an adult now. You're actually just a kid, and I've remembered, even though we've been to space together. Right.
Yep.
Peter never called the colleges, which also I wouldn't call the colleges either.
I wouldn't.
No, I don't think I would have thought to call
tell
the
MIT to reconsider.
You're gonna call. What is that gonna do?
Yeah.
You didn't call them and ask them to reconsider. What do you call them and ask them to reconsider? They said no.
Yeah.
Do you have the phone number for me to call?
They said no because I'm a fucking superhero, dog. Like,
I guess to be fair.
Cut to locked out of the sanctorum.
Yeah. I forgot. I had a thought. I lost it.
Sorry. I just was trying to move us through.
No, you're good.
Peter calls Flash to try and find out where the vice chancellor, the assistant vice chancellor for MIT is, so that he can go plead his case with her and get him Ned and MJ into school, or even just Ned and MJ. Flash Thompson answers. Basically, they sort out a deal where Peter's going to swing him to and from school, and then Flash Thompson exits this movie to go be in Scream 6.
Is he?
He's in Scream 6.
What the fuck?
I do not like the Iron Spider suit. I think it's bad. I think it's ugly. I don't like the way it looks.
I think it's just, for me, it's just overdone.
Is it not just the same one from Infinity War and Endgame?
It is. I think it's bad. I think it's gross, and I don't like it. And I want him in the red and blue.
It's very MCU-ified.
Very.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like the Iron Spider suit from the comics, the red and gold.
Yep.
But I don't like the way this one looks. I don't like that it looks like individual metal like panels.
Yeah, when it's supposed to be nanobots.
When it's supposed to be nanobots.
Yeah.
I don't like Peter putting on and off the costume so quickly.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it for me. Even in Homecoming, I didn't really like the thing where he was like, I thought it was okay, but like I prefer Peter Parker to be the guy that's like wearing the costume under his clothes and he like does something like that or something.
Yeah.
I don't like super teched up Peter. And
that,
this movie really makes me feel that.
Yeah, that, and this was when I first truly started noticing the CGI has not aged. Is not as good as I remember it being.
I'll say I also noticed, because are you specifically talking about him taking off the suit?
Like when he's like puts up
when he jumps off of the sign onto the highway overpass and he like hits the button on the suit, it goes out, and then he just starts walking in his like two-piece.
Honestly, not even necessarily that. I just thought he didn't look great.
I noticed
even
in
the
that
suit.
moment.
Yeah,
I'll agree. The CGI is not perfect in any way, shape, or form.
The best CGI in this movie is for something that's coming up soon, and literally in just like a minute.
Well, and actually, I think there's some pretty bad CGI right there, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Peter does find the assistant vice chancellor, and they start having their little back and forth. She's also an actress who I do know from Barry. This is Paula Newsome. She played a detective in Barry, and I really liked her in that show. If you haven't seen Barry, you should go watch it. It's a great show. Peter finds the assistant vice chancellor. They're talking. They're trying to sort it out until, boom, down the highway, you start seeing just smoke fucking through the cars, right? Peter gets up. He gets all alert. He's looking down, and then we see him for the first time. We see the arms. We see the shot from the trailer as Alfred Molina him fucking self.
I had a note right here.
Yep.
Doc Ock looks incredible.
Until he doesn't.
Well, I was going to say, I think that was some of the best CGI they did in the movie, was Doc Ock's arms.
The arms, yes.
Yeah.
I think there's one shot in this scene specifically, and I think it's as Doc Ock is fully revealed. It's not the one where he says, "How are you, Peter?" or "Hello, Peter," or whatever it is, but it's like the one right after that where he's like curling his lip a little bit, and they made his face really pudgy. Either that or like they didn't correct the pudginess of his face to like fit the other shots.
Yeah.
I noticed it. It hit me in that moment.
Yeah.
But
I feel like his hair could have been a little bit better as well.
Yeah.
It felt a little awkward.
It definitely looked a little bit like a wig.
Yeah.
But I'll say it's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't really mind any of that because we do get a fucking knockdown, drag out fight scene right here.
Yeah.
The impact, the weight of Spider-Man, I don't think has ever felt better than it does in this movie. The way that, like, I feel it when he takes that concrete tube and smashes it across the fucking highway, hits those two cars, and smacks Peter in the back. Is visceral. It hurts.
Yeah.
Any standout moments from this fight that you guys can remember that you want to go over?
I mean, I think the Peter and Doc Ock fight is just such an iconic battle for, especially, kind of going off the... I mean, and Spider-Man has a lot of villains that are like this, that are kind of like juxtapositions of Spider-Man, and Doc Ock is definitely one of these. And, I mean, obviously Doc Ock has a really great story and background, and it's nice to see MCU Peter finally slinging it with old long arms over here.
100%.
Especially a fan favorite version.
Especially the Doc Ock.
Well, and that's the problem you get into, and that's why we don't really see them repeat versions of villains very often, is because there are such iconic things that they've done before, and like we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But we do have this pretty great fight scene that happens here, ending with Peter using the nanobot suit to steal control of the arms. He saves the assistant vice chancellor. She gets the whole scene where she gets to go, "You're a hero." Doc says, "You're not my Peter," which is a great line. And just I am so confused right now. Which I also don't love because he's wearing a fucking iron suit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you mean it's not? Of course, it doesn't look like you're Peter. The suit doesn't look right.
I'm not the biggest fan of the whole like nanobot Bluetooth thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I
don't love it.
I don't love it. Just I thought because like he looked. I think it would have been a little bit different if instead, because at that point Peter is masked down.
Yep.
If we heard the
because he rips off the nanobot on the chest and the mask like takes itself to form over the chest.
I'm confused on where all those nanobots came from when it go all across. Yeah. I'm like, I don't think he got that many.
Especially because he has to give them back at the end to like fill in Peter's suit, which is confusing.
Yeah, and then I think there was a shot missing from new device connected to all of a sudden Peter's like, oh, and he's already doing it.
Yeah,
I was confused when I first saw it. I didn't realize. I still actually don't know. Is Peter planning to do that, or does that just happen?
That's what that's what it comes off as. Is like it seemed like he planned to do it because he has no look of like, oh, like just a look of convenience would have been like,
But then how does he know he can do that? I don't know. That does bother me. The more that you mention it, I don't love that.
Yeah.
As like it also
is it just like an intrinsic fact about the nanobots that they want to stick to other machines?
So like if I take the nanobots and I put them over a toaster.
Yeah.
Do I control the toaster from Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Do I not have Bluetooth toaster?
I got Bluetooth toaster.
Yeah.
And where is Bluetooth bathtub? We're gonna cut that too.
Yeah. I think what would have been a little bit better. Here, actually, I'll keep going in the scene a little bit more, and then I'll tie it in.
Okay. Well, before Peter can really get a chance to question Octavius, even with the Bluetooth on, we get the cackle, of course. And we hear the clink, the iconic sound effect of the pumpkin bomb just hitting the ground. We cut over, we see it, explosion happens, and before the goblin can come in to get Peter, we get a Doctor Strange portal, and Peter is pulled back into the Sanctum Sanctorum.
And that, real quick, another note I had, Willem Dafoe, fucking amazing.
Best character.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I think how I would have done that instead of him just having sudden control over Doc Ock, I think it would have been better if maybe they were still back on top of the bridge. Maybe Peter had like just knocked him out very briefly. He has the brief talk with the MIT lady because so that's how you her in. And then as Doc Ock is waking up, then you have the like the cackle or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
And then you have the just because
I don't think we got enough of a fight between Peter and Doc Ock here, especially with how this movie resolves that. I agree, because I don't even know, does Peter land a punch on Doc in this fight, or is it just...
I don't think a punch, just more stuff throwing at him.
Yeah, he throws a couple things at him. It's mainly him trying to protect this assistant vice chancellor.
Which, that's another point, the CGI on like some of the cars in the background looks so bad.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not looking that far back into the background.
Yeah.
Peter gets teleported back into the Sanctum Sanctorum. We get a jump scare with the lizard, and I didn't notice this before. Peter gets jump scared and has like a little shriek that he does that made me cackle. We get a Doctor Strange shows up and name drops the multiverse. Which was fucking huge back in 2021.
He has a gash on his face
because we had because he's been fighting the lizard down in the sewers. We had gotten a mention of multiverse specifically in the previous film, Far From Home, but it was a misdirect. So for it to be like fully dropped and no, it's definitely happening this time because these villains are absolutely not from here, was really, really cool. Peter goes, listen, sir, I know I messed this up. I'm gonna fix it, but if I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna need some help. And Ned and MJ show up to the Sanctum Sanctorum. This is kind of where the comedy doesn't work for me in this movie. And it's not all the time, because there are some lines that are really genuinely quite great. But some of the lines that they used for the trailers really didn't hit for me. Like the Doctor Strange, let's Scooby-Doo this shit. I found that to be quite dry.
I don't know. I kind of like that.
When they went down into the basement and they did the thing where they're like, what is your name? And he's or what's your name again? Otto Octavius. And they start laughing. I was like, that's that was kind of dry.
Yeah.
Like,
if he had said Doc Ock, sure.
yeah.
But like that's just the guy's name.
That's just the guy's name. Your name's
Yeah.
Peter Parker, dog. Are we just
Yeah.
laughing at alliteration?
Well, and
now?
we've already
Like-
got that joke for Doctor Strange too. Like that's kind of the whole like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they have silly
"No, my
names.
name is Doctor
Yeah.
Strange. Like that's not my hero name, you know.
Yeah.
I have a note here in my document. MJ gives Doctor Strange as he's saying that though. The I don't like the line that Strange says here, the Scooby Doo this shit, but I love the look MJ gives him. It's like a very much who the fuck do you think you're talking
Yep.
to look. She's like,
Yep. And then I love Strange actually instead of looking annoyed, actually you can see he gains a little respect for her.
a little bit.
oh, yeah.
He's
It's
like,
like-
okay, she's gonna talk
okay.
back to me.
Yeah, it's like I can vibe with this person.
I also love that Ned gives zero shit about Peter fucking up the spell. He's just happy to be the guy in the
Yep.
chair again.
Yep.
She's so they go down into the undercroft
Yep.
and he goes, the undercroft.
Yep.
We get the scene later where he opens the fridge and he sees like all the fucked up shit in there and he's like, just gonna close that.
Yep.
We get this is where I get a little sad. Actually, no, sorry. This note is in the wrong place. Sorry about that. This is where. Oh no. Sorry. This is where I get a little sad. Sorry. Because we get the conversation between Doc Ock and Peter where he's explaining like I'm gonna go find this guy. He looked like a jolly green elf, and Ock goes, Norman Osborn died years ago, right? I'm sad that there is no Norman Osborn or Oscorp in the MCU. I
Yeah.
think that is a real
Yeah.
missed opportunity. Oscorp is so central to so many Spider-Man storylines.
Yep.
To just not have them exist in the MCU at all,
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like it at all, really, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. And I don't see a way that we come back from how this story resolved and eventually get an Oscorp in the MCU. I don't think it happens. I think we're just kind of moving past it.
I think if it happens, because like there's the rumors, that, Secret Wars that's going to do like a soft reset of the MCU.
We'll see.
I could see something like that. It's like, hey,
But I don't think Tom Holland sticks around long enough. Because I think after Brand New Day we get 2 more movies with Holland in them. I think we get one where they introduce Miles as a character, and then one where he introduces Miles as a Spider-Man, and then either leaves or dies.
yeah,
Holland's done 3 of his own movies and like 3 tie-in films, and he's gonna do a couple more tie-in films and then 3 more movies. I think he's gonna get out pretty soon.
yeah. But also, to be fair, Spider-Man prints money.
Prince Money.
He does not. If they just back up a truckload of money to his front doorstep, you're like,
That's
I'm
what
down.
they did with RDJ.
And here's a hot take too, and y'all can tell me how you feel about this. Obviously, no hate to Tom Holland. Tom Holland is a much more successful person than I ever have even hoped to be. So, no shade to Tom Holland. I love him as Spider-Man. I love him in this role, and I love him in other films too. I do think I'm getting kind of annoyed with the sentiment that superhero films are step-up films into a career. I know I've heard some comment from him before being like, I don't want to be playing Spider-Man until I'm 30. And my question to you, Tom Holland, is why?
yeah,
Why wouldn't you want to play Spider-Man until you're 30? Spider-Man is a cultural epicenter of a character, and I think that there should be a level of reverence that the people that hold that title hold to the character and what it means to people. Don't give a fuck about what it means to me. I'm a 23-year-old shithead who likes to talk about things on the internet, but there was like a version of me who Spider-Man was very important to in a different way when I was a kid. And so I think to speak even a little flippantly on roles like that and to say like, I don't want to be doing this forever, or to act as though it's not like a prestige role, it annoys me quite a bit. But all good. No shade to Tom Holland.
he's been one of the best Spider-Man.
He's been one of the best Spider-Man, and also that's just, he's said something kind of like that before. Many actors have said things like that before. It annoys me when anybody says stuff like that. But Spider-Man does go out to track down the Green Goblin. He gets the little device from Strange that's going to let him shoot all the guys back into the cages. We get a great little swinging scene where he's going by some power lines, great like little wallpaper background right there. And then he shows up here as he's looking around. He's got the suit on inside out. I forgot to mention somebody threw green paint on him earlier, so now he has to wear his suit inside out. And he's got his phone taped to his chest so they can watch him. He gets out there, and behind him on some power lines we see a forming blue figure who of course is Electro. We know who floating blue people are.
Jamie Foxx.
Who? I'm sorry. Bad joke.
When he does his electric, you get like the first notes of his theme. And I'm gonna be honest, people hated on that theme back in 2014. I think it rocks.
Yeah.
Electro should have dubstep as his theme. That's thematic and I like it.
Absolutely.
Also, quick sidestep. Amazing Spider-Man 2, not. I don't care what anyone says. This is probably the nostalgia talking. Not as bad as people say.
We're gonna have to go back and review it because I think you're right and wrong.
No,
I
Yeah.
also
No,
agree
fuck
that
you,
it's
I'm
not
right.
as bad as you think, but I also agree that it's way worse than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they bring Electro forms on the power lines. He starts fighting Peter. Sandman shows up. He has another great line. "You're not my Peter." They keep saying "You're not my Peter." We get a beat of that Electro theme, and the fight starts. They're containing him. They manage to stop him while Sandman's containing the electricity.
Yep.
Spider-Man pulls down the power lines. They bring Electro down. Blue Man Group transforms into Jamie Foxx, and they let him be shirtless this time as an apology.
Yep.
We get
And he's hot.
He's hot.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna pretend he isn't naked. We get a fun
Yep.
conversation about the. We get a fun conversation about being in the universe. Did you bring me to the universe or the woods?
Yeah.
Like the universe, sir.
Yep. And then
Um,
also, I love the subtle thing about it's like, I like it here. The power feels different.
And I like that they gave even if it's like a little bit of a throwaway, I like that they gave a little bit of a justification for why he looks so different, whereas all the other villains kind of look more or less the same.
Yeah.
We go back to the Sanctum Sanctorum, where we see them all in their little captive pods, and we have some fun conversation about a wizard's dungeon, and Electro looking at the lizard, being like, "Oh, I know him. He tried to turn the whole city into lizards."
I love him offering, "I could give you a real transformation."
Let me
like
guess.
What? A
Here we
lizard?
go.
You're gonna make me a little
Yes.
Yes, of
Of course, I'm gonna make
Yes,
you
of
into a lizard.
course.
What do you mean?
Better. I do want to give a quick side note about Sandman. Damn, the actor not being able to be there truly took away so much.
Oh
from the
yeah,
movie.
it did.
Yeah.
But we cut to an alleyway where Osborn is standing there, just in his like. I like the Osborn Green Goblin suit. Unfortunately, when you don't wear the mask, it looks a lot more Power Rangers-y.
Yeah.
When he's not wearing the mask and it's just the green bodysuit, it looks straight out of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
He's talking to the mask sitting on a dumpster, and he breaks it with a rock, which makes me sad because I love that mask.
Yeah.
I do think it's a good decision for what this movie is doing, and letting Willem Dafoe have his face, which is like his fucking muscle, is worth it for a very specific scene that we'll get to.
Yep.
Yes.
May calls Peter at this point, explaining that one of the guys he's looking for has shown up at her place of work. She's working at Feast, which is the same little Easter egg, same place he's working at in the game.
We should have had Mr. Lee.
Should
Whether we have
Lee?
Mr. Negative or not, is
Yeah,
one thing.
there just needed to be a Mr. Lee who we knew who he was.
Yep.
But,
Peter races over. I remember this scene in the trailers and being like, "Oh no, something bad is happening at Feast," and everybody dissecting it, and they literally bust into the room and they're just sitting there talking and eating donuts.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I hate that.
Did you notice in the scene that Norman's stealing donuts?
Mm-hmm.
Just in the background,
Yeah.
he's pocketing donuts as May and Peter talk. I have mixed feelings on it. I think that Norman Osborn, played by Willem Dafoe, is excellent, and I like that he does both very well. There is like a level of empathy that I feel for Norman as a character, which is crazy because Norman's a bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Norman is a military weapons development guy who is kind of a shithead. He's mean to his kid, and he's just generally a piece of shit to people around him.
Yeah.
Even when he's not the Goblin.
Yeah.
But even to see him as pathetic as he looks in this scene where he's doing his whole somebody else is in control, and when he's in control I can't remember. I came here and I went to my house, somebody else is living in my house, I don't exist, my son doesn't exist. I felt bad for him.
Oscorp doesn't exist. Everything he's built.
I have a hot take.
2 weeks.
I think the Goblin was in control the entire time.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Because that's really, I don't have anything deeper than that.
I'm gonna debate you. I think you're wrong because he helps to fix Ock. I don't think he would have
And
done
that's
that.
what ends up screwing him in the end, right?
I like to think that he did that because he knew out of anyone personally, he knew Octavius, and I think he knew that was the only other superpowered person other than Peter that he could probably rival his mind.
I do also want to say something on that note. with sort of these like Jekyll and Hyde-esque characters, which.
They do a lot of those.
Quick side note: I don't know if Willem Dafoe's done a Jekyll and Hyde, but if
he 100%.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah,
that was his audition tape for.
I'm sure he has. But there's a lot of, and in Jekyll and Hyde-esque characters, there's a little bit of bleed over as far as like the personalities go. Like it's like at a certain point, it's like it's harder to, it becomes hard to tell the difference between the two, and I think that we are seeing kind of him at that point. Like we've got, at the times that we have Norman Osborn, he's got very much like goblin tendencies, stealing donuts, like still being kind of conniving.
Well, is that a goblin tendency, or does he just not know where his next meal is coming from?
It could be that
he doesn't exist in this universe. He doesn't have any money.
He could just be in a homeless person mindset. Who knows?
I read that scene, and I mean, we're obviously okay to have our separate interpretations of what's going on. That's fine.
No.
But I definitely I read that scene as him being very scared.
Yeah, sure.
And I might be wrong. I've never really thought about it as him just being the goblin the whole time. I like it when he's both, so maybe I would prefer him to be both, and so that's why I'm reading it that way. But that's an interesting tidbit. I read that scene as him being scared, but it's an interesting reading to have him being manipulating in that scene.
But also, on flip point of that, I also love the thought of how different Willem Dafoe plays Norman versus Goblin.
Yep.
Which we'll definitely get more into that later.
Well,
there's a specific scene,
and I want to kind of get into this as well, because May pulls Peter aside to have a conversation with him that starts with he's lost, and I don't just mean in the cosmos, but in his mind. I don't understand May's argument here. Peter's like, we have to send him home, and she's like, is that what's better for them, or is that what's better for you? And I'm like, no, shouldn't he go back to the fucking place where he exists?
I think it is better for them, May.
Like, at this point, we haven't talked about the fact that they're going to die if they go home.
Yeah.
This is literally, May's looking at this guy who's homeless in this universe and doesn't exist. He's talking about his son who doesn't exist. And Peter's like, no, he's actually right. He's from a different universe. And she's like, can we keep him? Like, I'm like, May, what the fuck?
No. No, he needs to go back to his reality. Because at this point, Harry Osborn's not dead, right? On the other side. He thinks he's got a lot to live for.
At this point, we haven't found out that the villains are supposed to die when they go back. So this argument feels hollow to me. And I'm like, why is she even bringing this up as though it's a moral thing? Peter doing anything about this is the moral thing. Yeah. Right? We go back to the Sanctorum. May drives them. We get back over there. The others are in captivity. We get another great scene of the multiverses kind of colliding in this moment. We get all the villains kind of talking back and forth to each other.
You should be dead.
100%.
I know you.
I like that Norman and Otto seem to have some amount of respect for each other. It's like, you can definitely tell there's a rivalry too. Sure. They don't love each other. Yeah. But the way that they like talk about each other scientifically, you can tell that they respect each other's work.
Absolutely.
Which I appreciate for their characters. Even in bad guy form, Otto's still like, he's one of the greatest scientific minds. Like,
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Well, and I think it's safe to say they were probably friends as well. I mean, I don't know exactly to the extent that they like actually worked together and knew each other, but in other Spider-Man stuff, like they both work at Oscorp together. Like that's
I think
that's the other part of Oz. That was what Oz was created.
I think a lot of the time, part of Doc Ock's origin story is he gets screwed around. He gets screwed over by Norman.
Yeah, in some context.
Yeah, that's just in a lot of them.
Because for sure in the Spider-Man PS4 one, that was a big deal. I don't know that we got much of that. We didn't get any of that in the Raimi-verse, but I think in some comics for sure, it's been like a rivalry between. They're always rivals to some degree. Yeah. Whether or not Otto has gotten like screwed over by Norman is like up to the run.
Sure.
Strange shows up with the artifact. 5 points to anybody that can tell me what the artifact is called. Fuck both of you guys. It's the Machina Dicadavis. Okay, baby? Nope. I take notes. The Machina Dicadavis. He shows up with the artifacts to send all of the villains home, but it's at this point that we come to the conclusion that they die fighting Spider-Man, which is the major plot hole I want to bring out with this movie, because they don't.
No. None of them do.
Not none of them.
Yeah. Well, because...
Goblin dies.
Yeah.
Otto dies.
Yeah. But...
Lizard does not die. Electro dies.
Yeah. Well...
Lizard does not die.
The Lizard's not cured.
Lizard's not... Yeah, Lizard's cured at the end of that film.
Yeah.
Because that's
Sandman doesn't die. He floats off into the sunset. after being like, Peter, I murdered your uncle, but I didn't mean to. My bad.
That, and then also the ones that do actually die, don't die by the hands of Spider-Man.
They die at their own hands.
Yeah.
Otto chooses it.
Yeah. Green Goblin was trying to cheap shot Peter.
Yep.
And he jumped. All he did was dodge.
Because my understanding, my reading of it was that they were pulled at the moment they were going to die.
Yes.
Like they were pulled, that feels like it's justified because of Otto's line earlier. Is like, "Where's my machine? The son of power of the sun in the palm of my hand."
That, and then that makes the whole thing about like saving them before they die, so they might have a second chance thing. Not make any sense.
With no powers and then just be
so
Goblin goes back. He is just Norman now, but at this point, I assume that the glider's already coming.
Yeah, he gets impaled.
The glider's already coming.
The same outcome.
Yeah.
So instead of in this universe, instead of him going, "Don't tell Harry," he goes, "Wait, I fucked up, Peter. I'm a good."
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, it really doesn't bother me that much. I'm willing to gloss over it for a movie this fun. And this enjoyable, but I remember thinking it on the first viewing, I was like, they don't all die. And on this viewing, it bothered me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Where I was like, that's a weird thing to hang the movie on when it's not true. And especially because this is such a love letter to so many other Spider-Man movies, it feels weird to reference them incorrectly.
We also should have gotten one more villain.
Why isn't it the Sinister Six?
Like, you don't even have to call them the Sinister Six.
No, you have to call them the Sinister Six.
Okay.
We have them all, Nick.
All right.
Why aren't they fucking sinister, and why aren't they sexy and
The reason
sexy?
I don't think they had... All right, it should have been 6, because yes, it would have been on theme with the Sinister Six. You didn't have to call this specific group, like that we are seeing, the Sinister Six. But I think it would have been interesting to see...
Stop looking at the camera.
I'm looking straight ahead.
Don't look at the camera. Look
I'm
at me.
looking at the
Hey, look at me. We're talking.
Hey,
right now. You stay out of this.
Yeah.
We're talking.
So, I think it would have been... I think then later down the line, because we know Scorpion's coming back.
Right.
We know... There's one other villain.
Vulture, maybe?
Vulture's still alive.
Is he still in the
Oh, wait,
universe?
no.
Or did
No,
he get
does
pulled
die.
to-
No, he did die.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, because he died...
No, because he's in jail in the
No, he's in
post-credit
jail.
scene with
Right.
Scorpion,
Carnage.
and he's like,
Right.
he got ported over to Morbius.
Right.
So I don't know if he makes it back. I never saw Morbius. I don't know if he made it back
I
from
watched
Morbius.
I don't even think we see him in
I don't think any of
We
us
don't
made-
see him in that movie.
I don't think any of us made it back from Morbius. Okay,
Yeah.
you saw Morbius?
I
I didn't watch
Oh,
Morbius.
no.
I had high hopes.
Oh no.
Anyway, but I think you just basically act like that didn't happen.
Here, watch the sound.
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
on there.
But and so I think just one more. I don't care who it was.
I agree.
And that's where I think thematically having Mr. Lee just in the movie, even if he wasn't Mr. Negative, because like you technically had 6 iconic Spider-Man villains, whether they're all fighting Spider-Man at that same point, and then I think having something, I don't know. I think it just would have been interesting.
Well, so and that's a problem, right? This movie does have a problem in that it doesn't have an antagonist, really, not a main one. All Spider-Man movies before this have a villain, and this one has all of the villains from the ones before it, pretty much. So we don't get a Spider-Man antagonist. I think it would have been fun if the Scorpion had showed up in the last movie, in No Way Home.
Yeah.
I think it would have been fun if we had gotten a one from 616 from the universe that we're in. The idea that we didn't, it kind of makes this movie feel like 2 different movies stitched together right in the middle.
Yeah.
Where watching it last night, it felt like or not last night, the other night, it felt like I was enjoying my time, but I was definitely biding my time until I got to the bridge scene, and I was like, this is where the movie starts.
Yeah.
Before that, I was like, we're doing setup. We got to bridge the gap from the last movie to what the story of this movie is. And I think it could have been helped if there had been like a villain, even just like a little shitter villain.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't become like the Sinister Six villain, I could have done with some sort of street level thug, maybe a Shocker, right?
Yeah.
Just
Well, Shocker's
something.
dead.
You're absolutely right. The
Yeah.
Shocker is dead. Did he die? No, that
Or
the first
either
Shocker
he's
died.
dead or he's in jail. The Shocker that...
The Shocker, because
So-
they had 2 Shockers.
So you look confused.
Yeah, I'm not
so
filled in on
in
Shocker
Spider-Man
in the MCU.
Homecoming, you saw Spider-Man Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
So
There was
remember-
a Shocker.
Yeah, remember when he's outside outside the prom fighting the dude
Yeah.
by the buses?
Yeah, I remember that Shocker.
Yeah.
That guy goes
Okay.
to jail.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy who's... Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
goes to jail. The other one dies.
Who's the other one?
There was one at the start of the movie, in Spider-Man Homecoming, where like the crew is there. He comes back to the hideout one day, and Adrian's like, "You got to get out of the crew. You're too
Gotcha.
precious."
Okay. I thought you meant like two different people acting.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think that Shocker is in jail, but nonetheless, just a villain of Shocker status.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell. Oh, I know. I was about to say Vulture. Wait, no, that was like the first fucking movie.
But at this point, all of the villains have realized that they're going to die, even though they're not. But whatever, we're going to move past that.
But they think they're
Peter
gonna die.
chooses to steal the McKenna Dicka DVD
I'm
try
thinking that TikTok sound.
and escape from Strange, so he can't send them back to die. And we begin another fight, a fight that, frankly, I'm not all that fond of. I enjoyed it. It was fine. I had my time with it. But on a rewatch of this film, I had less fun with it than I did before. It was less fun to watch these characters fight over reasons that felt a little bit contrived.
Yeah.
And then also the way that... Bro, you gotta stop shifting your feet and rubbing your... Chandler's rubbing his feet on the carpet and the audio's picking up every bit of it.
I know. I'm like...
Not trying to.
We're gonna have to get you a pillow to put your feet on.
I'm not trying to. I'm sorry. That was...
But there were elements of it that I liked. Specifically the moment where he tries to grab the McKenna DVD from Peter and the spider sense is going off and Peter's body is just moving the box. I thought that was really fun.
I actually had a note about that scene. Did you notice around Spectral Peter, he has the lines like in Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also don't have to say you have a note, buddy. You can just say what the note is.
I say that just because I'm like...
Is it because every note you have on there you wrote, I have a note about this?
No, it's just... I think it's just because that's just how my brain is.
That's
like,
okay.
Yeah.
Just feel free to butt in.
Yeah. I think I'm excited. I'm like, I had a thing.
Just feel free to butt in.
Yeah.
And then we get this... It's an interesting fight.
Visually, it looks great.
Visually, I think it looks okay.
It's
It's
a mirror dimension fight.
I think
the mirror dimension is overplayed now.
Yeah.
I think if it had stayed fully in the city and hadn't randomly,
Yeah, why were we in the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that took away a lot from because all of a
I was
sudden it's like
confused about that.
Yeah.
it's just visually it was confusing.
It doesn't feel like it fits with what they did with the mirror dimension before.
Yeah.
We do get a really fun line, or not even just a really fun line, but Peter references Brave on top of the train. Remember
Yes. Yeah.
What if we had a chance to change their fate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny.
I did have a thought that I didn't have in previous watches of it.
Yeah.
So remember when there's like the two portals, he's like doing the whole portal thing.
Yeah.
That kind, and then like it comes together.
Yeah.
I kind of had a thought. I'm like, oh shit. He broke a mirror.
He put a bag of holding inside of a bag of
Well, no,
holding.
he broke a mirror.
Oh.
The superstition,
And
and
now he
now
has bad
all of a
luck.
sudden, you see how the rest of the movie plays out, and then now we see how Brand New Day is playing out.
Oh, fuck.
It's a very subtle thing. So I wonder.
Sure.
So it's a very subtle.
That's a fun theme.
Yeah.
But
It's
not-
like, oh,
I
he
did
break.
not
Yeah.
think- I noticed the visual when they did it because
It
collapse
looked really
and
cool.
It shatters
Yeah.
outwards. I thought that was
Yeah.
fantastic, but I didn't think about that. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
I thought I saw that. I noticed that this time. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then like maybe in universe this becomes like, because this version of Peter hasn't been like the classic. Oh, you have classic Parker Luck version of Peter.
Yeah, no.
I
He's
wonder.
been pretty happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, I wonder if this is when we have that shift.
Yeah.
Is like
for
and then
sure.
it's like maybe a couple
Oh, and
movies
we'll,
down the
we'll
line.
get into that later because there are reasons that we
Yeah.
are absolutely getting that shift.
Yeah.
But now at this point, Peter brings down Strange using his math skills and steals a sling ring from him,
Yeah.
leaving strings that assuredly are going to pull Strange limb from limb as soon as Peter walks through that portal because those rocks are still moving, dog.
Yeah.
Why'd the rocks stop moving? Those rocks are still... this whole spiral of rocks is going to keep completing its circle and Strange is going to get ripped fucking
Yeah.
limb from limb.
Yeah,
okay?
because it's pulling tighter and tighter and like...
Yeah.
The villains, when Peter gets back, are asking why he wants to help them. He wants to fix whatever ails them, essentially. So when he sends them back to their world, they won't die fighting Spider-Man. Which again, I have issues with, but we're
Yeah.
gonna move past it. We get the call back here.
Yeah.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yep.
Peter has a great line here that also made me laugh. There's moments in this movie where the comedy really doesn't work for me, and then there's moments where the comedy fucking hits.
Yeah.
And this one was the lizard comes up and says a thing, and Peter goes, "Well, I didn't know you could talk."
Yeah.
And keeps talking.
Well, you know what's funny? That's like the third time that someone had said
I know.
said that.
The Trio, which is what I'm going to call Ned, MJ, and Pete, they separate. Peter's taking the villains with him. Ned and MJ are going to take the box, and Ned and MJ are given instructions that if they don't hear from Peter, they're going to hit the button. Fuck the villains. They're going back to their world to die. So the villains better not fuck up.
Right. And we're going to see them two in a very important scene later.
We get a continuation of a sick handshake from Ned and Peter that we've been seeing throughout the MCU. They've been doing this handshake. And then back at Happy's apartment, the villains and Peter arrive. There was a deleted scene right here. I don't know if you guys have seen the deleted scene of all of the villains in the elevator heading up to Happy's apartment.
Yes!
And they're just sitting there in silence as the elevator music plays, and it's quite good.
Yeah. I love the subtle thing when Electro walks by the camera as well.
And it glitches just a little bit.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We get just some great interactions between all these legacy characters. Sandman goes and sits on a couch and pretty much doesn't get up for the rest of the
And he starts
scene.
sweeping the
Yeah.
Every time he's
with his sand hand,
Yeah.
and it just
Leaving more
never gets
sand
cleaned
behind.
out.
I think just a line of I think my powers are glitching would have really helped the whole him not being there. Visually.
Yeah, I guess.
Just a single line, it would have at least
I don't
felt
know
like
why.
in universe justified it a little bit better.
Hey, can I give a hot take to both you guys and the internet right now? I have do you guys know who Ernest is?
Ernest?
Ernest from
Klein?
Ernest Goes to Camp
No.
and Ernest Goes to Hollywood.
No.
So there's a guy named Ernest, and he was in that's not the guy I want. He was in some old movies. Looks like this. He looks like this, Nick. And I'll throw this on the screen for you
Put it on the
guys too.
screen. There's Ernest.
Okay.
And I think Ernest will be a really fun Sandman. He's dead now. We're not going to get it, unfortunately. But the way he looks, I think if you put him in a green striped shirt, look at this guy.
Okay, yeah.
Look at that.
I see it now.
Look at that
I
shit
see
right there and
that.
tell me
I
that
see
couldn't
it
be
now.
fucking Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
And then you're going to hear his voice and you're going to be like, no, you're wrong,
No.
Nick. Hey, Vern.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
do want to
think-
make a quick comment about Sandman.
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
that it's
Yeah.
interesting to see.
Speak your truth.
Well, no, and a lot of the villains they put the powers as kind of like curses that they have to deal with, right? And then Goblin's like, these are gifts. We should
Yeah.
be giving them, and I think the fact that Sandman doesn't actually have like a human form until his power is like reversed and taken away from him, I think it kind of adds to that. But honestly, I didn't even know that the actor wasn't there for the movie until you had mentioned it just now.
Well, I have a fact to you about that later, but I love the line here where he goes, where him and Electro were talking, and he's like, I fell into a vat of electric eels, and he goes, I fell into a super collider. Damn, gotta watch where you fall.
You gotta watch where you fall.
So it's that easy.
So
Yeah.
Peter decides to work on Octavius first, and him and Norman are kind of working on it. There's kind of an interesting mental relationship that I like here.
Yeah.
It feels like it's paralleling what they were doing with Tony and Peter.
Yeah. Sure.
And it also, at this point, I realize
He just wants a
how
dad.
much more scientifically advanced the MCU is than anything we've seen before in terms of superhero films. Where he gives Peter a line where he's like, if you want to come commute across multiverses or whatever to come work at Oscorp. And I'm like, I think Oscorp would maybe be child's play for Peter. What are y'all are working
I
on
agree.
a drone? Like,
I agree.
Well, it's also a 20-year difference.
yeah. Oh, well, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, even in the sense that, like, they were working on a drone 20 years ago and we're working on nanotech in the MCU, like, the gap is just drastic.
Yeah.
But
Like,
they...
hell, even just the Oscorp from 2002 to, like, the Amazing Spider-Man is vastly
very
different.
different. Well, and especially... I won't get into that. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But they do have that sort of mentor relationship that I like, but there is the beautiful part of it is this sinister overtone that hangs over it because you know who Norman is. Right? That it's like Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
Right? They have the great introduction scene where they show you Octavius for the first time and he has the prosthetics behind him.
Yep.
And they look like Doc Ock arms.
Yep.
Yes.
And you know throughout that game that he's gonna be Doc Ock.
Yep.
Because he's fucking Otto Octavius, and you don't put Otto Octavius in a game where he's working on prosthetics and he's getting mad, and you don't put him in the fucking arms.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's Chekhov's gun.
Exactly.
We see Norman in this movie.
Yep.
We know at some point he's the Goblin.
Yep.
There's no fucking way they bring Willem Dafoe back and he doesn't put on the
Yep.
Like, we know he's gonna do it.
Yes.
So to see him in close proximity to May, to see him in close proximity to Peter, and to see it be kind of warm is really unsettling to
Yep.
watch. And again, this is just more shout-outs to Willem Dafoe for
Yep.
great performance here. The way he handles the way that these characters act differently. And also, we're going to get deep on this one, fellas.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Let's bring it back to Spider-Man 2002
Okay.
and Norman and Harry's relationship.
Here,
And
hang on just a sec. Let me adjust.
and the disdain that Norman has for Harry Osborn in that film. Just the clear, you can see in that film the way he's acting it is that he wishes Peter was his kid.
Yep.
That he's like, he doesn't hate Harry necessarily.
Yeah.
But he's like, look at this kid that is like everything I want out of a child. He's like, he would be such a good version of me to show to the world. Look at my successful, smart son.
Yeah.
And you can see him start to do the same thing to Peter.
Yeah.
And in this movie.
Shit. Yeah.
And that's fascinating. Where immediately he sees this smart young kid and he like, in my head I'm like, he's thinking about his fucking lineage right now, this fuck.
Yeah.
And so, like, even the warmth is, like, ruined a bit. Where it's
Yeah.
like, it's not warm. No, Osborn is still just being his shitty self, okay?
Yeah. Damn. They also should give him Willem Dafoe cornrows.
The scene...
No.
the scene
No.
of... they should give him that drip. The scene of them doing the neutralizing chip on Octavius is fantastic.
Yeah,
Very few notes. Again, we're just going to talk about an awesome performance from Alfred Molina right here. The way that I feel the implied weight... Like, we saw Octavius in Spider-Man 2. At this point, it would have been 18 years ago, 17 years ago, something like that. It feels like he's been Ock the whole time. When he says that line, it's so quiet, I almost forgot. It feels like there's been no gap. There wasn't 18 years where we didn't see him. For 18 years, he's just been Doc Ock in some other universe. We didn't get to see him. And to see it fall away off of Alfred Molina's face, to see the voices disappear,
Yeah.
is chilling.
Yep.
Loved it. Fucking 10 out of 10. All the props to Alfred Molina. He
Yeah.
just instantly steps back into this role after 2 decades.
I miss when we had phenomenal actors as villains.
Oh yeah.
We haven't had a proper one since what? Since Thanos?
I would say the last great MCU villain we had was probably Thanos, yeah. And the last great Spider-Man villain we had, I like Jake Gyllenhaal, but the last great one was the Vulture.
Yeah.
I think the Vulture was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before that, even further, I think it's probably Ock. I don't think we got a great villain in the Andrew Garfield
And I
movies.
loved, I loved Otto Octavius, especially how he builds his relationship with Peter.
And we're gonna
early
get to
on in
that scene
movie.
later. We're gonna get to the scene later in this movie that like heals my fucking childhood.
And I think going off of what you're saying there, it's like if you know about the movie and you know about the origin of Otto Octavius and how he was just like trying to create a reactor that was going to help people essentially generate clean energy and stuff, but he was corrupted, and so you essentially lose this like friend that you have in the beginning of Spider-Man 2, and you get him back in this movie. We get him back.
Yeah.
Well, and it's fascinating in Spider-Man 2 because Doc Ock and the Green Goblin from those first 2 movies are pretty similar.
Sure.
They're both doing the Jekyll and Hyde thing.
Yes.
But the way that they differ is that Norman's like sin is cowardice. Right? Norman is like too weak of a man to stand up to the Goblin personality.
Yep.
And it leads to the Goblin just being able to take over.
Yeah.
Octavius' sin is hubris.
Yeah.
In that film, his whole thing, Peter warns him before the demonstration. He says, what if you miscalculate? And he goes, I'm not going to miscalculate.
Yeah.
This is my life's work, Peter. I got it. And guess what? He fucking miscalculated.
He fucking did it.
And so that's what I like about them is that even though they are so similar archetypally, they have that like different, like their character flaw is different, and it makes them different, and it even makes the way that the Jekyll and Hyde works different, which is fascinating. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there.
Well, and it's different from the Jekyll and Hyde. I think it's more of a I can't think of the classic comparison, but he's not able to like switch out of it quite as much.
Yeah,
he doesn't have like his evil side and his good side. I mean, he has.
I don't think we see as much Jekyll and Hyde in this film, but I would say in the Sam Raimi films, he's very Jekyll and Hyde. Do you remember the scene where he's at the boatyard afterwards and he's like talking back and forth to his arms?
Oh, yes.
And he's kind of like, he's taking the more timid approach, but then they come in and they're like, but no, you should do this. And he's like, but wait, no, you're right, it was working.
So
that's where it feels Jekyll and Hyde to me.
More
in this film, he's like, I hate everybody!
Yeah.
I would say more descent into madness, maybe.
For sure.
But yeah, I just love the payoff of when you finally get him back.
You finally get him back.
You get Otto Octavius back, and he's like, it's all quiet now, and like they
The way-
really make you feel it.
The way he delivers the line, he comes down, he looks at Peter, and he goes, "Thank you, my boy, truly," and he gets like choked up saying it.
Yeah.
It's like he's such a fucking fantastic performance
Yeah.
here. And again, this is where I put the note that it seems like Norman and Octavius have some fucking respect for each other. The way that they reply to each other in this scene, I don't think they like each other. Maybe the MCU version is a little tame for me because they maybe are a little too friendly.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that Norman Osborn and Octavius have like a reluctant respect of one another.
Yeah.
I feel like Norman would hate Octavius for being a person in his field that he views as somebody like a rival, and I think Octavius would hate Norman for what he researches and for what his tech is being used for. But I think both of them are just like, yeah, the other guy's a genius.
Yeah.
He's one of the brightest minds in science.
Yeah.
It's very much. I'm going to use a sports term. It's
And we're
very.
moving past that, chat.
It's just very much like, for those who know, LeBron James versus Steph Curry is like, yeah, insane rivals. They have the greatest respect for each other. They have competed for years competing for the same space, competing for the same championships.
Top of their field.
On the
Top
court,
of the
it's
field.
on the court. If they're going against each other, it's dirty. But if LeBron James is watching a Curry
Yep.
game, he's gonna be like, "That's fucking,
Yeah.
that's a play right there."
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even though I don't watch sports.
Yeah.
We get a call from Happy here with some great lines. What I can't remember what he says. He's like, "Is that a guy made out of mud sitting on my couch? Like, a robot you brought into my apartment?"
Yeah.
Cyborg, that's what he calls it.
At this
Yeah.
point, having been tipped off, J. Jonah Jameson shows up with some cameras downstairs. Oh, I forgot to mention the lizard's just in the truck at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
They really couldn't get Rhys Ifans to bother for this fucking movie, so he's got like 4 lines, and then they reuse footage of him coming back to life.
I will say, to be fair, how do you sneak up
I mean, sure,
this
but
big ass lizard?
It
How do you
doesn't
fit
feel
that
like
in that elevator?
How do you sneak up Doc Ock? Bro's fucking in tentacle arms going through the elevator. If they can sneak up
He
Doc
also
Ock
fits.
and
They wrapped
the
him up.
Sanded Man,
Yeah.
They wrapped
they
him
could get
The
fucking Lizard
Sanded
up
Man?
there, okay? At this point, they start working on Norman's cure, and both Octavius and Norman seem to be helping, and they're having that kind of conversation where Octavius is like, "How do you feel, Norman? No more darker half," and we see the switch. We see what's happening. We understand it. As viewers of Spider-Man, we understand when he turns around and he goes, "No more darker half."
Yep.
We see that happening, and then outside of the little storage room, we've got Peter working with Electro, and they're doing the thing where he's got the thing on his chest. Peter's trying to explain it to him, and Electro the whole time he goes, "Are these your Legos?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love. He's like, you don't need to explain electricity to me.
Yeah, he's Peter's like, "Well, you need a little bit of electricity in your body to live." And at this point, Spidey senses start to go off. Or no, sorry, it's a little bit after. We go to a conversation with May. Peter's having a conversation with May about like what they're doing, and like the cure's getting ready to be done. All the villains are kind of moving around, and you get the spider sense go off.
Well, no, because Peter goes in to go help with the cure.
Right. But no, because Norman and Octavius walk out because they're all in the kitchen area by the time this happens.
Peter does. So he's working on it. I don't remember what triggered it.
No, you're right. Because he's
and
working
then
on
he walks
it.
out.
The sense comes on. He walks out to be like, "What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
What's going on?" And then they come out behind.
Yeah,
him.
and then Electro goes, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
Yeah.
But because he had been sitting there talking to Sandman, going, "I don't like this. Something
what
feels
I-
wrong."
what
Oh, that's what it was. Electro is sitting. He's sitting there. He's like, "Man, I don't like this. Something feels wrong."
Yeah.
And then immediately cut to Peter.
Okay,
And then
here's
I-
my question. You think Electro sent off the spider sense? I thought it was the Goblin.
I'm not saying he. Sorry, I don't mean like he setting off.
Okay.
Visually, I think that was like the
Gotcha.
lead.
Okay. Because I definitely think it was Norman switching into the Goblin that set it off.
I kind of like to think that maybe he kind of sensed the neurons changing.
maybe.
And so I think maybe like a mini kind of Electro sense of his own.
There's what I find great, because we talked about this earlier about Spider-Man's spider sense being kind of nerfed, and I do agree in the MCU's spider sense is pretty nerfed from what it is in other properties. But we do get this great scene where he walks out and we get to see him use the lesson that he learned in the last movie, which is trust your fucking tingle, okay?
Trust the
Take your
fucking
tingle,
Peter tingle.
take your tingle and trust it, okay, Peter? He closes his eyes. And I love, too, the interpretation that all of these villains are setting off his fucking spider sense. They're all doing it.
Yeah.
They're fucking villains.
Yep.
Electro's sitting there with electricity at his fingertips. Sandman could fucking blow this apartment wide open.
Yep.
Doc Ock is good now, maybe. We'll find out. We'll
Yeah.
see. I don't know.
He's still
and the
probably on
Lizard's
edge.
fucking
Seems to
downstairs.
be
Yeah.
working for
Okay,
them.
so things are fucked, and of course his spider sense is going off. So he focuses in, he closes his eyes, and he sees it. And before he even opens his eyes, he does this with his fucking eyes closed, which is badass. He just webs Osborn. What does he web Osborn to?
A telescope.
Is it a telescope? I thought it was the Dun Spot from the Iron Man movies.
The what?
The Dun Spot?
the arm.
The little arm that
That's
Tony
in Happy's
has.
apartment?
Because Happy has that arm in his
Yeah.
apartment.
I thought that was. I've heard always remembered it as telescope, but no, I think it was.
It might have been the
the
Dun.
arm.
It might have been a telescope.
No,
I can't
it
remember.
was the arm.
It was the arm. Okay.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love to see
picturing
the
my
Dunce
head.
arm.
Yeah.
But we get just a chilling monologue from Norman.
That's some neat trick you got there.
Ending with gods don't have to choose. And then the fight begins. And May, being quite a fucking badass, immediately as she's
Jumps
doing this
into action.
monologue, kind of sneaks her way into the thing, grabs the cure, grabs the dispenser that it needs, the injector that it needs to go in, and puts it into a bag, walks out, and you can see her and Peter make eye contact and go, I got it. Great shit from May here. The fight begins, and I just want to talk about Willem Dafoe's face for a second.
Dude.
Because, man, does this man have a face? Mm-hmm. And, man,
got
does
a
he
face.
use it,
Yep.
okay? Because God, that's a scary face, okay? And we're going to get there in a moment as this fight goes on and we get to the scene of Peter on his shoulders, punching down into his chin, into his nose, into his eyes, and the goblin has a fucking smile.
got a
So
huge
you want to know
grin on
a
his
small
face.
detail? If you kind of slow the scene down, he's not punching. He's doing his elbow.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he's like
oh
he-
my
he's what he's
god.
wrapping
It's
around.
full it is a knockdown drag out.
But here's the
fight.
thing: you like the way they did it. You feel the weight of this. Like this is not Spider-Man holding back.
Yeah. No,
Actually, no, he is a little bit.
He's
This
holding,
brings
he's
it
holding
always.
back.
Yeah.
I think he's always holding back to some degree.
Yeah,
We'll get
and
to the
then-
part where he's not.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But no, and then you have Willem Dafoe just, and then hit. You know, and it's just
Yeah, the smile is great.
Yeah.
And even in theaters, that caught me. I was like, oh, what a
Yes.
the Goblin is fucking
Yeah.
back, baby.
the
okay?
way this fight was shot was so amazing.
Yeah.
Like there's a thing with Superman that people have noticed. Don't let Superman realize you can take punches.
Yep.
Spider-Man is kind of like that in a similar way, where it's like, cool, I can't hold my punches. And
the punches from Spider-Man only get harder the more durable he realizes you are.
I love the shot. They're on the balcony. He does a flip and does the
To
video
balcony,
game
pulls
finisher.
down and breaks through the fucking balcony.
Oh
my god!
And then later you have Green Goblin grabbing and slamming them through multiple stories.
Well, I find this fight pretty reminiscent of the fight that Spider-Man and the Goblin have in Spider-Man 2002. At the end of the film, and specifically in the way that the music direction and the viscerality of the fight is handled, because that's always struck me about that film is how in the climax of that movie, in the big fight, there's no score really.
Yep.
It is specifically punctuated on the punching sounds, on the grunts, on the pain, the violence, and we get a lot of that here. The sounds of these punches is crunchy.
Yep.
It's real crunchy. The sounds of the floor breaking is crunchy. I have a question here, and I don't quite understand this. Why does the Lizard get involved here and throw Peter back into the building? He has some throwaway line about I warned you there'd be consequences, Peter. But what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
No, I hear you. If I were the Lizard, I would have fucked off into the sewers somewhere. I would.
That's what I'm saying. He had no business hanging around.
And it's he does that, and then he leaves.
We get a line earlier when J. Jonah Jameson shows up where the Lizard's looking out of the slats at the back of the truck and he's like, now the fun begins. And I'm like, so were you always gonna go evil and attack?
Is that always the plan?
If that was the case, why the fuck did you stay in the truck?
Yeah.
I was very confused by that on this viewing. I was like, why are you involved in this fight?
Yeah.
But at this point, the brawl has been going for a while. We're going to rewind just a little bit because Octavius gets thrown out of the building. Electro does his little zip, zip, zap thing out of there. Sandman just fucks off and flies out. At this point, that's when the Lizard breaks out of the truck. And Peter and the Goblin have their visceral fight. I was also, like I said, very confused by the Lizard's motivations for this fight. And then finally, having been thrown through the last several floors of this building, landing at the ground floor of this apartment complex.
Just as May gets to the bottom.
Just as May gets to the bottom. Well, and it's not even just as May gets to the bottom, because remember, they get down to the bottom, and like the goblin is choking Peter.
Yes.
May runs down the stairs,
Oh my God.
sees this happen, and runs up and stabs him in the neck with the cure.
Did you catch what Norman said, or what Green Goblin said?
Can you feel it? Something.
Can you feel yourself choking on your own ambitions as he's choking him?
Yeah.
I caught that this time. I was like, oh, I never caught that.
So
I
I
can't believe I
was
never
actually
caught
wondering
that.
too, the line earlier in his monologue upstairs where he goes, "Gods don't have to choose." Earlier in the thing, he says to Peter, "Struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose." It's been a fucking maybe year since I've seen Spider-Man 2002. Is that a callback to that? Does he say? Isn't that a callback to the rooftop scene in there where he's like, "Now choose"?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a callback to the scene with the gondola and Mary Jane at the end. Something wrong. The problem with being a hero is that a madman always comes along with a sadistic choice. Let die the woman you love, or suffer the little children.
Yeah.
Now choose.
Yeah.
I think that's a callback to that. It feels
Has
the way
to
it's said.
With
feels
how the
like a
movie
callback.
is, there's no way
Yeah,
it's not.
honestly, right?
Yeah.
It's all nostalgia all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
But May does manage to stab the goblin with this, and I understand why it happens, right? Because we see that the cure isn't complete when she grabs it out of the thing. So when he just steps back and goes, "It didn't work."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but that doesn't really work for me, and I don't know that I have like a real reason as to why. I just felt like that was weird. Like, it felt weird that they would even draw attention to the whole act of grabbing the cure and then stabbing with it just for it to not work, and for him to have him call it out so explicitly and be like, "It didn't work."
So remember, she didn't just grab that. She grabbed that. It was the bag of the cures.
It wasn't the bag of the cure. She grabbed a little nylon bag and put the cure and the injector in it.
Yeah, she grabbed the other cures they were working on. That wasn't just the one cure.
I know.
Yeah.
But why-
So I think that was May jumping into action. Like,
Right.
this is going south. I'm grabbing the cures and I'm gonna get these out of here
For sure.
Sure.
And so I think, that she has her maternal instinct of, essentially my kid is fighting this guy, and
I get it from a
can
character
do something.
perspective.
Yeah.
I absolutely understand that from a character perspective. I don't understand it from like a storytelling and movie perspective of like, it feels strange. I don't feel like it reads well. When I was watching the movie, I definitely like stopped for a second. I was like, okay, why did we bother then? Like,
I think they needed to. I think story wise, for what was about to happen, they need to keep May in the scene.
for sure, I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Goblin, as he's talking, starts to call his glider. We get kind of a callback to how he took out Peter, or how he was going to try and take out Peter. He took out himself in the original film. And it flies through, and man, does it fucking hit the shit out of Aunt May, dude. It fucking sends her flying.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment that I was like, oh yeah, she's fucking dead. Like, there's no shot, dude. That thing has blades on the front of it.
Yep. I mean, it was able to stab through
got
his
stabbed.
armor in the original movie.
Yeah.
She goes down, Osborn jumps up on top of the glider, and it's at this point that we get a look at his fucking costume in this movie. And I was sad that they broke the mask, but damn, does his costume fuck.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
the
purple
cloak-looking
cloak
thing.
that's like tattered, his
Yeah.
battle damaged armor.
Yep.
The hood coming up. Oh,
The
I
hood
like
is
it.
so-
The hood is
Yeah.
a nice touch because I think again without the mask it looks a bit like Power Rangers armor.
Yeah.
So dressing it up with the battle damage, dressing it up with the cloak that's also battle damaged, and having specifically the hood to cover, like, give him a little bit of shadow on that creepy ass Willem Dafoe face. Impeccable. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's at this moment that he gives just a little bit more of his little monologue before throwing out some pumpkin bombs.
Yep.
Sorry, Chad. I'm drinking before throwing out some pumpkin bombs. And again, it's at this point that I'm like, oh, she's double dead, man. Like she's double dead, and he might even be a little dead too. Okay.
We're 3 Spider-Man movies in, and she's not dead yet.
Yeah. But I will say, I think they handled this very, very well. This is a fantastic scene. Before you guys interrupt me, and it's okay. I said interrupt in a mean way, but I don't mean it in a mean way.
Damn.
I don't mean it in a mean way. I just meant let me get through this scene, and then we will take all comments. Okay?
Can I just say this real quick?
No. Because...
I have from the moment Green Goblin leaves, I have no notes on this scene. Like in terms of here's what I would have done better.
Fair enough.
I could not have done this better.
So the Green Goblin leaves. The explosions go off.
Mm-hmm.
They stand up. They both stand up, and they are both struggling. Okay, Spider-Man's clearly injured. May is clearly injured. They're both out of breath. They start talking, and we get a just a very well handled scene here, where May looks at Peter. Peter looks at May, and he goes, Strange was right. Mm-hmm. This wasn't my responsibility. I should have sent them back. And she looks at him and she goes, no. What Norman said? No. My moral mission? No. Peter, you have great power. And with great power, there must also come great responsibility. And damn if that is not the best fucking reading of that line ever, okay?
Yeah, dude.
Listen, that is the original line from the comics. The comic it got a little cut in half, okay?
Yeah.
Originally in the comics, it was spoken not by Uncle Ben, but just by a disembodied narrator at the end of the book. With great power, there must also come great responsibility. Okay? It became popularized with Uncle Ben saying it, and then got extra popularized with Uncle Ben saying it in the film. So that's where we all remember it from. But if you remember Tobey Maguire, it doesn't even say that. He just says, with great power comes great responsibility, which is a condensed version of that line. And then Andrew Garfield, his Uncle Ben says, if you have great power and you can do things with the great power, you should probably do them. I don't know, something like that. So I think this is the best version of that scene we've seen so far, for sure. We get... they start to walk out of the building. May drops. Peter looks around, and it's at this moment that I'm struck by how young this Peter still is after 3 films. Tom Holland's obviously quite a bit older at this point. He's a young man, right? We're all young men. We're all young adults, and he's also a young adult at this point. But
he's aged like 10
the
years
way
since he
that he can still kind of channel that voice crack is devastating. And the way that when he goes down to help May, it doesn't really seem to register for him until he sees the blood. And also the way that it doesn't register for her. She sees the blood and she asks him if he's hurt. She can't even feel it anymore.
She's just like, I just need to catch my breath.
I just need to catch my breath.
Oh.
Is all she can say.
We're gonna lay here for a moment, and we're gonna go.
Peter is trying to comfort her. He's trying to keep him up. All this while, the SWAT team has shown up because a fucking explosion has gone off at the building.
Well, it was the Department of Damage Control.
Oh, it was Damage Control?
Yeah.
Damage Control shows up with SWAT stuff, but they show up. Peter is standing over May. She is dying. She's losing it. Her eyes start to go cold. He is crying. And again, I said some shit about Tom Holland earlier, and I don't mean that as an attack on Tom Holland. We love you, Tom Holland, because this scene, man, can you fucking act, okay?
I literally wrote down, fuck you, Tom Holland.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Oh my god.
Happy also pulls up, and I didn't recognize how heartbreaking this moment with Happy was before. Happy pulling up and screaming, Peter, run. Gets out of his car, gets detained immediately. You hear him say, ow. He says, ow, get your hands off me. He gets shoved onto the car. Peter, run. And before, it's not even that Peter can't get away quickly enough. It's that Peter can't leave May. He's holding May. He hears Happy. We hear Happy. He's got fucking spider hearing. He hears Happy, okay? And it's not until he gets shot that he moves. He gets shot, and it's at the moment that he can't stay there anymore. He says, I'm sorry, May, and he leaves. And then we cut to black, and we cut to the rain, and we cut to the reflection of a billboard on Spider-Man's face, an electronic billboard where J. Jonah Jameson is standing there. As you can see, New York, everything Spider-Man touches turns to ruin. Oh my fucking god. So, does anybody have anything they want to say about that scene before we move on?
I definitely do.
Go ahead.
I think the way that they handle that scene, and so there's something about it as well to be said, that this Spider-Man doesn't have an Uncle Ben. This Spider-Man only had Aunt May for as long as we knew him. Maybe there was an Uncle Ben at some point. Obviously, he had parents at some point, but usually that Spider-Man doesn't know his parents. So this is his parental figure that he's losing.
Yeah.
And there's almost this moment of like, I'm so glad Aunt May's okay. Like, she's talking to me. She's fine. We're standing up. Like, we're going to get her out of here. Everything's going to be okay. And then it's not. And then it's like, eventually you realize it's not.
And frankly, the rest of this movie is a fuck you to Peter.
Yeah.
Like, from this moment onward, it is a fuck Peter.
No.
It's kind of like Spider-Man 2 levels of, like, Peter's life sucks.
Hey, the mirror broke.
Mirror broke.
Mirror
The
broke.
mirror fucking broke. Hey, you guys out here watching this, that mirror broke.
Mirror's broken.
Okay?
It ends up becoming a big deal later. Come back.
Continue.
No, but anyway, and the way that you're like, okay, Goblin's gone, everything's okay, you almost breathe that sigh of relief. And just as you let out that sigh of relief, you start to hear maybe like, I just need to catch my breath. I just need to like slow down for a minute. And you're like, oh, they're going to slowly
They're going to twist
away.
the fucking knife.
They're going to twist the knife slowly. This isn't a, no, Uncle Ben, with great power comes with responsibility. Dead. You know? It's... And the way that they just, like, pull you through it is like molasses. As soon as you realize what's happening... And I mean, if you're a seasoned Spider-Man fan, I think you kind of
The second the words come out of her mouth, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The second she says the fucking words. If she says that and then falls, every Spider-Man fan in that room goes, no.
Fuck! Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. I will throw it to you in a second because I haven't asked you about this. I'm so sorry. I think it's interesting that with the MCU, we skipped Uncle Ben and got a different kind of origin story for Spider-Man that took 3 films to get.
Yeah.
It makes me feel a little bit more negatively about MCU of the past. Because we get the line from Spider-Man in Civil War where Tony comes to see him and he's like, why do you do this? And he was like, well, when you have the powers I do and you don't use them, you do nothing, and then the bad things happen, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious what he means by that. I'm because I had always assumed that was Uncle Ben and we just don't get to see it because they were like, we've done this a couple times, we're not going to throw it back at you.
Yeah.
But clearly they're just going to throw it back at us here. Right, and I don't mind this at all. I think it's quite good what they've done here. I like this as like an opposite of what happens to Uncle Ben. I like that he gets to relate to the other Peters with it later, but I take a little bit of issue with the fact that it retroactively makes me question Spider-Man's motivation, because Spider-Man's motivation has always been that he sees this happen to Uncle Ben and decides this happens to nobody else on my watch. So what happened to MCU Peter before the events of Civil War that caused him to be Spider-Man? I frankly don't know, and this movie kind of retroactively opens that question for me in a way that I can't really figure out yet. But I still love this scene. I think it's really well done. Nick, how did you feel about the great power, great responsibility scene for the MCU?
So I'm going to talk about this, because I think y'all have already hit the nail in the coffin with the scene. I'm going to talk about the scene on a technical level.
Yeah, go ahead.
Green Goblin leaves. The pumpkin bombs blow up outside the building. That little awning thing goes down.
Yep.
They're in there.
They're locked in.
They're locked in. You cut back in.
Sorry, if I can pause you for a second.
Yeah.
It almost to me feels like a similar effect that the Green Lantern scene from Superman had, where he like pulls them into that building. He's like, no, we're in here and we're having a conversation.
Yes.
This is about us.
Yes.
Continue.
We are now seeing 2 actors that we know are actors. You see them talking, and everything feels so natural, and you just had this intense scene, and that, like you said, it's like this breath of like, okay, we can breathe for a minute. How are they're gonna leave? Where are we going from here? But you also have that overlying thing of like, we can't, like, what May just went through. Like, she got hit by that glider.
Yep.
You're also kind of having like, is she actually okay? And then she says, it's also quiet. Like, there's no score playing.
No score.
That I love when movies do that. And from the moment it's, I just need to catch my breath real quick. That's when it's very much as an audience member, you are locked in. They're doing their thing. They're sitting there. Tom Holland making me cry. I had to go watch this movie like 3 times before I could see it without
through the blur.
Yeah, it was very. It was a surprisingly wet scene. But stuff like that. And so you have that. She starts dying. The music starts cutting in. You have, like, the music starts cutting in the moment, and then it's sad, but the anxiety is building because you have the DODC come in, and then cut back, a little more crying, and then Happy showing up. That moment gives me chills every single time because Jon Favreau is actually a pretty decent actor.
He's become a much better actor throughout the course of the MCU.
Yeah.
He was always at halfway like a good actor, but like, he's become a better character actor throughout the MCU.
Yeah, sure. The way that he slides in and you see him, you see the brief shot, you see Peter is crying. You can just barely tell that that's May, and then it cuts back to him, and you see the look of that look on his face.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see this character who he's in pain, locks in. He goes. He sees the Department of Damage Control.
He assesses the situation very quickly.
Yes.
He goes boom,
Yep.
boom, and then he's like, locks in.
Yeah. He's like, I need to give Peter a chance to get out. Peter, run! And in such a heart-wrenching way. The music is building. Everything is swelling. We don't hear him like yell. Like we hear it like it's background noise to Peter right now. Like nothing is nothing else is barely happening.
Yeah.
And then just
the way the gunshot rings through that through that lift of tension and like brings it all down. Like it. We're ramping up, and then the gunshot goes off, and it's just fucking.
Yes. And then you get to him on the rooftop, the colors, the slow-mo, the angle that we're at Peter, he is disassociated, and we have what Triple J is saying.
Which I find fascinating, because what Triple J is saying is what Peter is thinking.
Yep. And this is
it's almost like J. Jonah Jameson isn't even up there, and this is the best way that they could translate the idea of like a Spider-Man thought bubble from the comic. They're like, no, we're gonna have J. Jonah Jameson say it, but you can almost if you put a filter over it, or you just had Tom Holland say those lines aggressively, and you put that recording there, it would fit. Yeah. With that being said, we're gonna move now to a much happier scene. Yeah. And one of the best scenes of the movie. After a quick word from our sponsors. So, taking us into the scene after May's death. Well, actually, not even the scene after May's death, specifically the scene after the rooftop scene with Spider-Man. Sorry. Catching up. Now we cut to Ned's place. Cutting to Ned's place. Ned and MJ are sitting around a table. They're debating whether or not they're going to push the button on the Mechania Digga place. Because Peter hasn't contacted yet, okay? Ned does a little hand motion while saying he wishes he could see Peter, and we see some of the Doctor Strange sparklies fly in the air. They keep trying to open a portal until eventually it does work, and we see a spidered man standing down an alleyway. And when this spidered man runs down the alleyway, well, it was obvious that it was Andrew because we all knew Andrew was in the movie. Okay, like by the press tour they went on to try and convince us that Andrew and Toby weren't in this movie was nuts. Yeah, when they were absolutely in the fucking movie. Okay, well,
and then you have Andrew who's like, no.
Andrew also just has the biggest eyes on his spider suit as well. So like, especially when they put him down a dark alleyway and all you see are the eyes, and you're like, that's Andrew.
Sorry. I do have a comment to make about the portals in this scene. I think in the original Comertage with Doctor Strange, it takes Strange months of training to even produce a few sparks with the sling ring. Yeah. Whereas Ned, it seems it's almost not maybe intrinsic or maybe intuitive to him.
Well, he has the line earlier in the film where he says, Lola says magic runs in our family. Right. He says that to Strange. Right. And Strange, he says, I get a tingle in my hand sometimes, and Strange goes, you should go see your general practitioner. Yeah.
Well, and then then that just raises the question for me of what does that mean for Ned? Like, is this just like a plot device that they're using to get all the Spider-Mans into one place, or is this hint to Ned's future?
That's a really good question.
I like to think it's a desperation kind of thing, where it's like there's a theme that's very common in superhero movies, where it's like, oh, sometimes like either desperation or determination can kind of get you a little bit further than training sometimes.
Right, for sure.
So I think it's a little bit of that.
I mean, that's even a Spider-Man thing. Like the scene
Yeah.
in Homecoming,
Mhm.
that's the direct reference to that comic
Yep.
scene where he's buried under the rubble, and it's
Oh,
literally
yeah.
like a pick yourself up Spider-Man kind of thing.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely a theme, not only in superheroes but in
Yep.
Spider-Man specifically.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
Beating the unbeatable odds.
Yeah.
I think that the Ned magic is interesting, and I don't know if it's a plot contrivance or device yet. We'll have to see how the next couple movies play out.
Yeah. If we never see him use magic again,
Yeah, I'll be confused.
then it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. Like, what a missed opportunity.
But
Yeah.
Andrew does come through this portal. He takes
Yep.
off his mask, and let me tell you,
I had notes.
it is an aged like wine, Andrew Garfield. Okay,
Yes.
especially they have a shot in here where he's standing. I don't know if it's the shot where he pulls off the mask or if it's one where he's standing later in the kitchen. Where I'm like, is that just a younger Andrew Garfield from The Amazing Spider-Man? He looks fucking good in this movie.
He looks the
Yeah.
same, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And we get some fun shenanigans as he comes through the portal. That's, again, not my Peter type stuff. They're throwing the bread at him. They have
Yep.
him jump up on the ceiling, clear off the spider webs for Lola. And then, continuing to try, we open up yet another portal. And wouldn't you know it, not a spider suit this time.
Nope.
Fucking very aged Tobey Maguire steps
Yep.
through this fucking portal. This is an old man. Absolutely no hate to Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
You are my childhood, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
I love you very much. Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely no hate to you here. Your movie was also quite a bit older than Andrew's
Yeah.
movie, so absolutely no hate. But you look a bit older than you did. It's specifically jarring. I looked up the scene where Toby's holding James Franco at the end of Spider-Man 3, and it's just such a stark comparison to that scene. Like,
Yeah.
where we last saw this Peter and where we see this Peter now are so drastically different in age.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we get more fun shenanigans.
Yep.
I love the little, like, oh, we're shooting webs at each other. I don't know if they don't necessarily trust each other, or if it's more of just like the spider senses kicked in and they just did the thing.
Yeah. Well, and also we see a very quick thing of showing that Toby is a slightly more experienced Spider-Man.
Yep. He
Like,
covers the web shooters.
Yep. He doesn't he doesn't know about that they're web shooters. He knows that this is another Peter. You go for the wrist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is fun too. We get the start of the Andrew Garfield is the middle sibling dynamic here, with the line where Peter comes through the portal. Andrew's already said the whole I don't really keep an ID on me thing.
Mm-hmm.
Toby says the same thing, and under his breath, Andrew just goes, "That's what I just said."
Yep.
I think doesn't Tom say it at some point in the movie as well about not having an ID?
No, it's just the specific callback line, because
Yeah.
I think Andrew
Bimo.
says, "Oh, he's starting to get frisky now." Bimo, Bubba. Hey, Bubba, the mic is too hot for that. What the fuck were we talking about before Bimo interrupted?
We were talking
Toby comes in.
Yeah, Toby comes in, he covers the web shooters, but
Yeah.
it was after that just a little bit. The line that they were referencing, because Andrew comes in and
Yes.
he's like, they ask,
prove that you're Peter.
prove that you're Peter. He's like, I don't really keep a wallet on me. Kind of defeats the whole secret
Secret
identity
identity.
thing. And then Tobey Maguire says almost verbatim the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
But we go from here because Toby, I think, is the one who mentions, he's like, listen, I've been trying to find your friend since I got here. I get the feeling that he just needs my help.
Yeah.
Is there a place your Peter would go? Which I love. We get
Yeah.
the idea that these are very different Peters, right?
Yeah.
Especially at different points in their life.
Yep.
Toby's going to the Chrysler Building. He was in college when we saw him last. He was an older guy. He was in downtown. Tom is going to the roof of his school.
Yep.
When we saw Tom Holland in the first Spider-Man film for the MCU, heights were a problem for him.
Yep.
This is a younger Peter. This is a maybe not a less experienced Peter now that we've seen him go through the entire MCU. Bimo, if you start scratching that thing again, you're going to get in trouble. Oi. Ewy. Bollocks.
Just go there and just stay there.
Is he on camera?
No, he's not on camera.
You can't see him, but he's fucking around on the cat tree.
The problem is we can hear him.
But
You can hear him.
He's having a time.
He's having a time. Oh, man. I did
And
not,
you can
I
see
did
it-
not
you can
think
see it
about
on
that
the
when I put
gain
the
as
cat tree
well.
this close to
Yeah.
the recording
You
section.
can see on the game as well.
Oh, my.
It's okay. Let's just,
Oh, you see his tail flicking on the side.
let's just power through.
We're going to power through.
We're gonna power through.
But we get the scene where Peter is essentially asking, like, hey, I've been here for a couple days now. I've been trying to find your friend. I get the sense that he needs my help. Is there a place that your Peter would have gone? And, the older movies, Andrew and Toby, they're a little bit older by the time we're seeing them as Peter Parker, for the most part. And they're going to different places. They're going to places that are downtown in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tom Holland is going to the roof of his school. This is a younger Peter. This is a Peter where when we met him in Homecoming, being on the tip top of the Washington Monument was like a deadly fall, right?
Yeah.
Whereas consider the opening of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 where Peter's literally fucking skydiving from like a helicopter. I don't fucking know. Like, so I think that's really poignant, really really beautiful to like speak to where Tom is in terms of like he's still a kid. He's been to space. He's done all this. He's yada yada yada. It doesn't matter. He is a kid still. He's a more mature kid than others might be, but he's a kid. He's the same kid who doesn't think to call the college back. He's the same kid who thinks to go to Doctor Strange and just have him fuck with time instantly. Like, he's a kid. So we get to the roof of the school. He's gonna knock that thing over, and it's gonna make so much noise.
Well, and I do have a quick add-on. Tobey Maguire's character wanting to help this Peter and feeling such an intrinsic need to help him. It's nice because it doesn't feel like he has like some like special spider ability. It's just like he understands that it is him in some way, and it's like I just feel like he's going through something that I've gone through, and he needs me.
Well, in this movie, he's Peter too, right? But he's doing some real parallels to Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. This is like mentor Spider-Man. This is old Spider-Man. He doesn't have a kid at home, I don't think, because he doesn't say anything about it. But if any of the Spider-Man had a kid, he's of the age, right? So I agree. It's almost like Peter gets the mentor and Tony. Yeah, BMO's going nuts behind scenes, guys. Peter gets the mentor and Tony. Tony dies. Peter gets the mentor and Norman very, very briefly, but you get the glimmer of like what could have been in maybe a different timeline, right? And then briefly again, Peter gets mentored by a version of himself that is more healed. From the very things that he's being traumatized by now. Which is
from his canon events.
Which is beautiful. We go to that rooftop, and again, just another great poignant scene where MJ and Ned come down, and Peter is stoically staring forward. You can see the pain on his face, but it's not going anywhere until they touch him, and they hug him, and he starts fucking sobbing. And I start fucking sobbing watching the movie, because I go, God damn you, fucking Tom Holland. You're really good at this.
And the hug that they give him.
The hug, and they don't say anything for like a couple seconds. They just sit in it. And do they know?
I don't think they know what. They don't know what happened. They know something happened. Wait, no.
I mean, they
probably saw the Triple J broadcast.
Right. I'm sure at some point they mentioned like a casualty on
like
the
probably
scene.
on the
They
way.
showed like a picture of May Parker or something like that. We don't get to see it in the film, but surely they know what's happened. They show up and MJ says, "Peter, somebody's here to see you." And we get a cool shot
of them.
They have like different jumps, which I love. You can tell which one is which before they even hit the bottom, which is awesome. They get down there, and we get again just one of like, if there's top fucking 5 scenes in this movie, the 3 of them together is always in that top 5. Okay,
doesn't matter which scene.
We get a scene here where Tom Holland stands up. He's scared immediately. He doesn't trust them. He sees the spider suits, but it doesn't matter. Toby's not even wearing his yet, but he sees Andrew's spider suit. It doesn't fucking matter. He's like, other universe guy, you're a fucking problem, right? He gets back. He does like the driver's thing to MJ, where he like puts his arm in front of her, and they have this conversation where he says, "Listen, I'm sorry. It's my fault that you're here. You shouldn't be here. this isn't your home. This isn't your world. You got to go home. Those guys are from your universes. They die fighting you, right? Well, if you kill them, that's on you.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with me. I should have sent him home earlier. I'm sorry that I brought you guys into this. This is my fault, but I'm fixing it now. I'm sending you home. And MJ stops him. He goes to grab the box, and MJ pulls it away from him and says, Peter, she gives him a look that says, Peter, you have to listen to what they have to say. And they go into it.
Yeah.
And we get some really fucking amazing callbacks. And just really great, not even necessarily callbacks, but we get to see how these characters have sat with these revelations for 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? The way that, I mean, the last thing we saw of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man before this was Gwen Stacy's death.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. We saw that. We got the scene where he was sad, and then he fought the Rhino, and then that Spider-Man series ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
So to come back to it now years later, and clearly Garfield has done a lot of processing of it.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, his Peter has been sad about it for a long time, but you get the sense that his Peter never healed.
Yep.
And he says it. He says, I don't want you to become like me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after Gwen died, I got rageful. I got bitter. I stopped pulling my punches. And to anybody who doesn't know what happens when Spider-Man stops pulling his punches, there's a great comic called Spider-Man Web of Shadows. It's called Spider's Shadow, I think. One of the two. Fact check me, editor.
I think Web of Shadows is the video game?
Web of Shadows is the video game,
Yeah.
which is why I think it's not that.
Yes.
But the reason... What happens essentially is Peter gets so... at this point, he's wearing the symbiote suit in that story.
Yeah.
But he gets so over the repeated recursions of his villains, right? Essentially, the Batman problem, right? Where like Batman just puts the Joker in jail, then the Joker gets out of jail, and the Joker hurts more people,
Yep.
right? So a villain who Spider-Man has put away before, I think it's the Scorpion, I think so, comes at him. It's been a while since I've read this book, chat. Sorry about that. Comes at him and ends up hurting May. And Peter, in a moment of rage, wearing the symbiote suit and thinking through the idea of, like, I keep fucking doing this, I put you in jail, you break out, you hurt more people, now you're coming after my fucking family.
Yep.
Punches him so hard that he blows his jaw off his face. Spider-Man has, like, the proportional strength of a spider.
Yep.
And Spider-Man is, I don't know, maybe 1,000 spiders big. So
At least.
a lot of strength.
Yeah.
So
1,000 is a generous.
generous, right?
Yeah.
These are big.
Those
these are big
that's a big
spiders.
thousand. Those 1,000 spiders are large spiders.
Yes.
But we get that line from Andrew, and then we get the line from Peter, which I think it's funny that they even call back to this, because I kind of feel like it's something that the MCU or Disney or Sony would want you to forget about the Raimi films. Is that Peter killed that guy. He says Uncle Ben died the night Uncle Ben died. I went after the guy who did it. I wanted him dead. I got what I wanted. Peter fucking killed that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a really all-around great scene, and we get the through line where Tom is talking to them and says, you know, as she was dying, all she could think about was somebody else. She said that with great power, and Toby finishes the line, comes great responsibility.
Yep.
How do you know that? Uncle Ben said it the night that he died.
Yeah. An unfortunate thing, he only says Ben. Because I don't think that because they still are not able to say Uncle Ben.
Really? Interesting. So
Yeah.
I also found that interesting too, and I understood why we were doing it for the sake of difference. But the fact that Andrew doesn't ever mention Uncle Ben, he kind of does, because he's the one that fills in the night he died.
Yeah.
Right. But when we're talking about the traumas, like Peter B goes really hard into Uncle Ben. All Andrew talks about is Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck you too, Uncle Ben. But we get that beautiful through line that is like, no, this is a person in your life who's meant to pass on this sentiment before they go.
Yeah.
And it's happened for all of us, and it's now happened for you, and this is part of what makes you Spider-Man. And it's a shitty part of what makes you Spider-Man, but it's part of it. Again, like, I don't know how necessarily, like, heart-wrenching this scene is to watch in modern day times, but with the lineage of Spider-Man films behind it, man, does it hit. Even on a rewatch.
Yeah.
we get this. We get the rest of that. They agree to work together to cure the villains, and they go back to the lab. I'm assuming this is at the high school.
I would imagine.
I think they're literally in the high school.
I think they're in the high school at this point.
Yeah.
And they're working around. This is where they agree to work together, not to kill the villains, but to cure them. We get the cure that ass line from Ned, which is great.
Yeah. But I love Toby just looking at him, like he's saying this in a reassuring way. Like we cure them. We cure them all.
All of them.
All of them. I'm like,
Well, and that
so
builds
good.
back into a line that I love that they put into the movie, which is when he thinks about it, he goes, I can handle Osborn's cure. I've been thinking about it for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
After Norman Osborn's death, and you have to imagine after the death of Harry Osborn as well,
Yeah.
he went through kind of the same process as Norman,
Yeah.
that is a big regret for that version of Peter, that he wasn't able to save them.
And it was
that's
his first
something
villain, too.
That's something I love. The first villain, for sure. And
Yeah.
I mean, the first villain is so personally connected to him and to his family and friends. One thing I love about Peter in the comics, especially as I get more into them, is that so often in the comics, his relationship to the villains isn't, I hate you because you do crime. It's, no, please stop hurting people. Let me help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to get to this point with Toby where it is like, yeah, no, this is 20 years on with this character, and for 2 decades this character has thought about this.
Yeah.
And he's thought about, well, if I could go back and do it differently, I would approach it from this angle. I'd approach it with this knowledge that I have now. I could do this better if I could only go back. And I think that is at the core of what Spider-Man is, and they really diffused it into that line, which I just think was done well.
Yep.
Yeah.
We get a lot of great moments here. We get the Spider-Man point meme, which they had to fucking put in the movie.
Yeah, of course.
If
Yeah.
they didn't put it in the movie, people would still be making videos. We would be making a video right now being like, why didn't they do the point
Yep.
meme? They had 3 Spider-Men
Oh,
in the
yeah.
movie.
Well, there's that, and then also just someone said in some comment section years ago on some Spider-Man video about a potential crossover. It's like there has to be a scene where like Ned comes up, and the fact that they said Ned comes up and is like, here's your web flu cartridges, and Toby basically going, the fuck?
Yep, that comes in too.
Yeah. So that, like I said, fan
Well,
service.
speaking of Ned, too, we get that awesome moment where he's talking to Tobey Maguire's Peter, and he goes, do you have a best friend? Do you have like a Ned Leeds in your universe? And he goes, I did, until he turned into a villain and tried to kill me. It was horribly sad.
Yep.
And then Ned, with like a 1,000-yard stare, looks away, and he goes, oh.
Yeah.
Comes up to Tom Holland later and goes, I promised to not turn into a villain to try and kill you. Great job making that promise before you lost all your memories, Ned. Can't wait to
Yeah.
see you as the magical hobgoblin.
That and I love Andrew just going,
Yeah, giving him the slap on the back. Going, good job, buddy.
yeah.
Well, because I mean, Andrew didn't even say it, but he's like, yeah, my best friend also kind of went crazy and tried to kill me. Frankly, I choose personal headcanon. I choose to believe Andrew doesn't say it specifically for Ned's benefit. I think there's a world in which Andrew could have been like, yeah, that also happened to me, but I think Andrew read Ned's expression and was like, I'm not going to put that on him.
There can be differences.
If I say that out loud, he's going to think that's his destiny, and I don't want to do that to the poor kid.
And you know what's bad thinking about it? That would be the third live-action Spider-Man in a row where his best friend turned into some kind of goblin.
Magical Hobgoblin, baby. We're getting it in the next movie.
Yeah. Honestly, that'd be dope as fuck.
Magical Hobgoblin. We also get confirmation. Toby and MJ, they worked it out, which is surprising because go back and watch those movies, folks. They're fucking awful people.
Yeah.
They're awful to one another. I don't know why they're together in those movies.
Yeah.
Love those movies. Damn, did they not have chemistry?
Nope.
Which is crazy because they dated in real life.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
I never knew that.
All of the Spider-Men have dated their co-stars except for Shameik Moore, who needs to be quiet. Who needs to stop talking and stop being creepy about Haley Steinfeld. That woman is married now.
And is pregnant.
And is pregnant. Stop shit posting on your stories. Wait till we get the 3rd Spider-Man movie, Mr. Moore. Okay? Don't ruin this before we get the 3rd Spider-Man movie.
Plot twist, Haley Steinfeld ends up with Oscar Isaac.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
So as they set their plan in motion, we do get that scene you were talking about where he shoots the web fluid out of his arms, which I want to talk about because we've seen the trailers for Brand New Day,
Right.
and it does look like we're ditching the web shooters,
We are.
which I'm fucking excited about.
Yeah.
I don't like web shooters, and it's because I'm a Tobey Maguire kid,
Same.
right? That's why, is because my version of Spider-Man growing up didn't have them, so when I saw them later I was like, what the fuck is this? You can't shoot you can't shoot rope out of your wrist?
Yeah. It's one of those things that I'm so sorry, go ahead.
No.
Okay. It's one of those things that, I don't know, just feels so natural. Like,
it feels like his biggest superpower is to be able to swing. I know he has other superpowers. Super strength for sure. But like, as a kid, the coolest thing for me was always the swinging around New York.
Yeah.
Well, and the way that I've always seen Spider-Man is his whole thing is he's a biological kind of anomaly, right? Mm-hmm. You know, he was bitten by a radioactive spider, and now he's gained the abilities not only of like regular spiders, even, but like, you know, this special spider that Oscorp was making that somehow had the ability to pass on abilities.
I get the argument. I've heard several people make at this point in my life that like the benefit of the web shooters is they show how smart Peter is. Yeah. But MCU has kind of ditched that benefit by making him such an Iron Man Spider-Man. Yeah. That I feel like going to the natural web fluid is just a good choice. Yeah. And it also gives us an opportunity if Tobey Maguire's never in the MCU again, for Tom Holland to be like, oh, it's like that time I met that other Spider-Man that had the fucking...
Well, and it reminds me of that scene in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man when he looks at his hands and there's like... He's not only his hands sticking to the walls, but there's like the little hairs sticking out. The hairs like out of his hands.
To this day, that shit bothers me.
Well, I imagine they're not visible regularly, but they're like microscopic, and like that's what allows him to like attach so well, right? And I think that's a.
I've always imagined that it feels like a cat's tongue, and that fucks me up.
That
fucks me up. Real
no,
bad.
I hear you. I definitely hear you. Imagine like a Spider-Man with those abilities, but just without web fluid, like without having that supplemental like technology. Even. Yeah.
I think there's other ways to make Peter seem smart. Yeah. You don't have to, and I think the cost trade-off of having him seem smart to giving him cool superpowers is like give him cool superpowers and make him smart in other ways.
Well, that and then also Spider-Man has always had like gadgets.
Yeah, exactly.
And we see a very brief moment of him using it in this movie. Earlier during the bridge fight with Doc Ock, when the car is going down, as he's going back up, or he like spits a gadget and very quick blink and you miss it.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
So now that we've got all the cures and we're ready, we've got our plan established. We're all gonna head. We decide we're going where? The fucking Statue of Liberty. And how are we getting there? Ned's medical license. So Ned uses his medical license ring to open up another portal to the Statue of Liberty. Mr. Tom Man makes a video call into Jameson, and he announces their location, and we get the greatest scene of all scenes in this entire fucking film. And I've said that a lot this movie, but I've been kind of holding it back and just saying, oh, this is a great scene, or this is maybe top 10 great scenes, because this is the fucking greatest scene in the movie. Yeah. It's three Spider-Men telling each other and talking to each other and asking each other the exact fucking questions that if they came to me, if Marvel came to me a year before No Way Home comes out and they said, hey, if we put Toby, Andrew, and Tom on screen together, what do you want them to talk about? I'd be like, make a dick joke, okay? And they make a fucking dick joke in this scene, okay? We get so many great moments. We get the fucking, I want to fight an alien. Yep. You are amazing. Toby has fucking back problems. Yep. Tom makes the fucking dick joke, right? Yep. I fought an alien. He was purple and in space. I want to fight an alien. I'm still on. You were in space. Like,
or you fought him. You fought an alien on Earth and in space.
Just really, really awesome stuff here. Like genuine. Like, this is fan service, and this is how you do fan service well. This is what we wanted to see. It lasts just long enough. If it had gone on longer, I think it might have outstayed its welcome. Yeah. I'm gonna say it. I would have liked it if it was longer. I would have taken 20 minutes of this shit. But I do think it would have dragged the pacing a little bit. Yep. So it feels nice that we get what we want out of it, and then it's brought right back down as the villains are coming in. The Spidey senses go off, and they start working on a plan as the villains come in. Who comes in first? We get Electro and Lizard.
Electro and Sandman.
Electro and Sand.
And then Lizard very quickly.
No, it's Electro first. It's Electro first.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's Electro first, then Sandman, then Lizard.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
And then
so
Goblin and Ock, and then Goblin.
So the villains start to arrive, and we've got that. Let me tell you something, man. These spidered men's, they fucking suck at working as a team. Okay, they're fucking webbing each other in the face. They're clotheslining each other. Also, interesting point I'd like to bring up here as well. Toby's Connors never went Lizard. Because you would think that if Connors in his universe had gone lizard, Spider-Man would have called it the Lizard or Connors.
Yeah.
But he calls it Lizard Guy.
Right.
He says Lizard Guy's here now, which makes me think that he has no lizard in his universe.
Yeah.
Which
right.
I think in some ways it's probably just Marvel being like, we're not going to fuck with the continuity of what happened in those films too much. We're not going to add history onto it after the fact and like make you want things that we don't have.
Yep.
But it does, I mean, that line just kind of confirms for me that there is no lizard in that universe right now, which is interesting because Lizard is one of the villains we had teased in that. That's the one that Sam wanted for Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a Dr. Connors as far
There
as
was.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like,
And he was missing an arm.
Yeah.
Just
He
never,
was absolutely, they were going to do a lizard at some point.
Yeah.
And we get just all the spider banter, and then we get the scene, and they're fucking sucking at fighting.
Yep.
I did want to make a quick remark. This is the first time we see the new Electro. And I love
Yes,
Electro.
it is. It
I
is
love Electro
yeah.
in the scene.
Yes.
They did a fucking great job with his redesign.
I think that the arc reactor be coming into play. I
Yeah.
think that's the coolest
Yep.
shit.
Well, it's fascinating that in 2 other Spider-Man movies, we've had like things about like providing the energy for New York, and within Marvel's first MCU movie, they solved that problem with the protagonist.
Yeah.
Like Tony makes the arc reactor in movie 1, and that's what Octavius was trying to do. That's what they were trying to do with that power grid in New York in Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I agree. Getting the arc reactor is fucking
That's like
an
a
awesome
big
choice.
That's
for
a big
his
focus for Oscorp a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like their whole thing too. So
renewable energy is like just a big like superhero plot point.
Yeah, and then
I agree. I love that.
Spider-Man
fucking
Miles
reference.
Morales. Like,
Yeah.
what was that company called? I don't know.
You're not even the shit no more. and Toby or Andrew's just, aww.
Yeah, but I love also the electricity creating like the
The
mask.
mask. Did you see that?
Oh.
The mask is cool.
The
as
mask
shit.
is
That's
so
my
cool.
favorite.
Like-
thing.
I mean, like, let's be honest. That's the dumbest fucking mask in like comic history. There's no way to translate that on screen. I thought until they fucking did it.
And it was so
And it's
cool.
just enough to like show you. It would be dumb if it stayed. If there was just like a crackly electricity mask around his face, it would look dumb as shit. But they did it perfectly. They just show you the flash of it. They're like, there you go. There's your chef's
you see
kiss.
it every time
Goodbye.
you see it every time he uses his powers.
yeah.
And so
we don't got the green spandex. We don't have to worry about.
we have to reconvene to kind of get a better plan going. Oh, by the way, during this time, Ned is still holding the portal. He's trying to close it.
Yeah.
But it's not fucking closing.
They're not able to close this shit.
He's got the machine gun Kelly device next to him, and he's not able to close the portal to get rid of it. At this point, I think the lizard has joined us. The Machina Dicadavis. The machine gun Kelly
Gotcha.
device.
Okay. I thought with the sling ring, and I was like,
No, he's got the machine gun Kelly device. And we kind of cut back to a scene where the Peters are reconvening for a new plan. They suck at this. The sandstorm is raging outside. We get
like,
the
what do we do?
We get the great lines of like, I know what to do. I was in the Avengers. That's great. What is that? A band? You guys
"You're in
are
a
the
band?
Avengers?
I want to be in a band."
We also, I don't know what the line direction on this was from Toby. I know it was a meme right after the movie came out, but did you guys catch the "How is this helping?"
Yeah.
Which was great. And then of course the line that I've heard everybody talk about, the "I love you guys," and then the Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3, and then we get the best web swinging I've ever fucking seen. They're, as opposed to earlier where they're webbing each other's faces up and stuff and clotheslining each other, you've got fucking they're webbing off each other's feet and pulling each other off. They're doing flips around each other. Oh my, they're all doing like their own little whoops and yips and woohoo!
Yeah, and then like literally like swinging off each other's webs.
Exactly, dude.
And then
they do
the landing. And it's so fucking good. It nut. Okay, guys, that's all I have to say. Nut.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I wanted out of this movie.
what
And
I
this is
called
why
it.
none of the fucking plot holes matter.
Yeah.
Okay, because this scene fucking right here.
We have been waiting 20 fucking years.
And then the fight kind of rages on, and we get the scene that was left into that fucked up trailer. That you remember? I don't remember if it was like the Brazil
It was
trailer.
the Brazilian trailer,
Where they left in the superimposed of just the lizard getting his fucking face kicked in by a ghost. Which
We'll see if we can put a clip.
they decide to go for Sandman at this point, and now they're working as a team, right?
Yep.
So they're working. They have to get the cure from the bottom of the statue to the top of the statue, and they've got some really great like passes here where they're going back and forth. until Toby almost fucking drowns
Yeah.
in the Statue of Liberty in a bunch of sand.
Yeah.
They get the cure to him just in time for him to go up and do the thing, and for us to see just a little bit of reused footage of Thomas Hayden Church.
Yep.
Because they could not fucking get him
Yeah.
or Rhys Ifans back
Yeah.
to be in person for this movie
Which-
for whatever reason.
The guy for Sandman, I forgot his name.
Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church. He was busy. He was already signed on something else, and literally,
Too bad, motherfucker. You signed on to
It's
this
like
project
one
20 years ago!
yeah.
dude.
But I will say,
I'm glad that they at least got some new lines from him and
Yeah.
things they were still able to do stuff. I feel less worried. I feel less down on his inclusion in this movie than I do on the Lizards.
yeah, I will say, the superimposed reuse footage, like if you had no idea,
If you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
yeah, that was done very well.
I think
I think they matched the lighting very well. Because with it being at night and it being under underground sewers,
Right.
I think it matched. I thought they got the camera. I think they got the right camera angle. So I think they did it as well as they possibly could.
The thing that makes me realize, even if I haven't seen the movie before, is that I have seen Spider-Man 3 before, and I know that 20 years later that motherfucker look older.
Absolutely.
He looks just... especially when they cut back to old-ass Tobey Maguire face.
yeah,
And he goes... like, it's hard to, like, see it that way and not notice. But that,
Yeah.
again, if you were just watching this not having
Yep.
seen Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3
Yep.
a million times, you
Right.
might not
Yes.
notice. It's just frankly strange to me that we've got 3 really great villain performances in this, and they just phoned in the other 2.
yeah,
So Toby gets the cure, sets it off. We get the reused footage. I actually have put in my notes here that Ernest should be Sandman, so I'm glad we brought that up earlier. And now they go for Electro, and man, does it not fucking work for
Nope.
whatever reason. This is cut to make it look like they're giving him like the henchman treatment, and they're jumping in like one at a time at
Yeah.
him. Even though I think the idea is they're all jumping kind of at the same time, but it's
Yeah.
cut to look like it's at separate times. Which, if
Yeah.
it is, I don't know why they're doing it that way.
Right.
And he's just fucking blasting him, okay?
Yep.
And it's at this point
and I started shooting.
And that's
that
hard to blast.
Ned is still trying to close the portal, and the Lizard notices. So
Yep.
now Tom Holland has to take off from the fight with Electro to go save them. And I don't know why, but this scene specifically reminded me of the Lizard scene inside the school in The Amazing Spider-Man 1 with the Stan Lee cameo. Did you also write that in your notes?
My note was the Lizard really likes destroying schools.
Yeah, just something about the way that they were like moving around the
Yeah.
room felt very
Yeah.
similar to the choreography in
Yeah.
that other scene, which I thought was
Oh.
fun. Oh,
Uh-oh.
no wine for you, Bimo
wants
baby.
some. Bimo wants some.
So he goes in, he starts fighting the Lizard in the lab, manages to kick him out, but Ned and MJ also get kicked out with the Machine Gun Kelly device. And back to Electro, he's got Toby and Andrew just fucking pinned down.
Yeah.
Octavius shows up, and I'm confused here, because I guess Max Dillon just had amnesia and forgot that they fixed Doc Ock, because he doesn't, like, suspect that Doc Ock is not on his side.
I think after seeing Goblin failing,
Right.
I wonder. Oh no, he didn't see the cure for Goblin fail.
He didn't see the cure for Goblin fail.
Oh shit.
So he just because he shows up and Octavius is like, let me get him, and he's like, no, I got him, whatever. And then Doc betrays him, and I'm like, you saw a motherfucker get cured. Like,
Yeah.
He came back down. He said the voices were gone. The
Yeah.
voices.
Yeah.
So whatever, because he gets immediately betrayed for it, and then
Yeah.
no more glow Electro.
Yeah.
Okay. And I like that the cures work better when all of the Spider-Men have worked on them.
Yeah.
Like, you get the sense that, like, they're combining their knowledge to, like... And you really do, because Toby has the line where he says that he's been thinking about the Osborn cure for forever.
Yep.
Right? But I like that little, like, under-the-rug detail that it's like, they all work now that all the Peters have worked on them. And then Ned and MJ are still running from the Lizard. Ned opens a portal to just water. Just opens a portal to water.
I don't know if that. I don't know. I like to think that he was just trying to open it to get Connors, and I think it just happened to be water.
I guess so, yeah.
I guess.
I can see that reading where he's
Yeah.
just like, I'm
Sloppy.
gonna try and juke him out or whatever, and it just
Yeah.
happened to be water where he
Accidentally achieved the goal.
Yeah. Goal failed.
Goal failed
successfully.
Exactly.
And opens another portal, and this time Doctor Strange comes out, and lucky for him, he's still got all his limbs.
So real quick, I hate how that scene was shot. The portal opens, no one's there. Cuts back. He's all of a sudden there.
Yeah, I also didn't like
I
that.
noticed that every single time I watched it.
They noticed to Strange that the plan to cure the villains is working, and Strange has the line where he's like, "Did you just open a portal?" Yada yada yada.
No.
We get another just fucking knockout scene, dude. We cut back up. Tobey Maguire stands there as Alfred Molina, Dr. Octopus, comes into frame. Peter, my boy, how are you?
My heart.
I've been doing good, trying to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, Peter says.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Because remember he had a wife?
And to think that this is the last time Peter has seen Octavius like this. Like this version of Octavius since the accident in the lab.
Yep.
Which
you get
for
maybe
that Peter's been a long time.
fucking
Yeah.
time. So you get maybe the flash of it at the end of Spider-Man 2 where he kind of comes back a little bit and just enough to decide that he's fucking wrong and destroy his machine.
Yep.
But like to have it be like it almost seems like they're just gonna start fucking talking shop about poetry again.
Yeah.
And damn, dude, fuck. This was a scene in the theaters that got me.
Yeah.
I cried during this scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then another great callback, just super quick, from Doc Ock, when he has the arc reactor in his hand, and he says, "The power of the sun." Doesn't even finish the line, but you know
what it is.
It's like, you're just like,
It's like he had the power of the sun like a doc.
And
you know?
reading that even further into the conversation we were having about his hubris earlier, I think that's a really interesting moment. And this is just me reading it, right? Obviously, this might not be the intention or whatever, but I feel like there's a moment in there where he's looking at it and his hubris leaves him, where he goes, "It was possible. I
Yep.
miscalculated."
yep.
Right? Like, and I feel like that's why he didn't say "in the palm of my hand."
Yep.
Right? The power of the sun, he's holding a fucking miniaturized version of this giant machine that he built in a fucking Manhattan apartment lounge for whatever reason. Yeah, just fucking magnificent,
Yeah.
dude. Honorable mention to the scene with Jamie Foxx and Andrew Garfield. Just thought you'd be black.
Yep.
That's great. Can't wait for Miles.
I love Andrew.
Can't wait for Miles.
I love
Okay.
Andrew.
I want to buy
I'm
Oh man, I'm sure there's a black Spider-Man
Yeah.
somewhere. Or no, he doesn't say that. Electro
No,
says that.
yeah.
Spider-Man just says, "Oh, I'm sorry," and
Yeah.
that's great. And
Andrew
then
Garfield, you are a national treasure.
we get the three Peters.
Yeah.
They pop back up. They start bantering with Docky Weird, and the Goblin arrives. Okay.
I love them sticking up. I love the other two sticking up for Peter.
You went to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
He could have used your
Yeah.
help.
And I love Doctor Strange being like, for the first time, be like, I don't know what to do.
We get another awesome callback to Spider-Man 1 with the Goblin line here. Can the Spider-Man come out to play? And
Willem Dafoe.
He flies in, and I like that Octavius is now helping them. He's like batting those little flying things out of the air.
Dude.
I kind of wish we got a callback line from Toby here, because they did a callback line in Spider-Man 3 when James Franco used the same weapons. I wish we got kind of another like mini callback line where he's like, "I fucking hate those things."
Yeah.
But we don't. We instead get the Goblin grabbing the. Oh,
He's coming
chat.
on to few.
Chat. He's here. We instead get a cut of the Goblin grabbing the Machina Dicadavis. And kind of confusing. I'm not really sure how this works. It doesn't really seem like there's space for it, but he somehow shoves a pumpkin bomb in there.
Yeah, somehow he gets it in there.
It's because at that point, Strange had been like starting to activate.
So it was like opening, kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think it's just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they do that. They pull the box back from him, but it's too late. The box fucking explodes. The spell that was contained inside of it goes nuts.
Yep.
And starts breaking open the sky around it. In the chaos of all of this, MJ falls off the platform. And I'm going to say it once. If I'm going to say it 2,000 fucking times in this video, we're going to get another great scene here. Because MJ falls off the platform, and we see her fall, and your brain in the theater thinks, don't fucking do this again. Not only do I not want to see it, because we just saw it.
Yep.
But also, like, ow, don't fucking do this to me,
Yeah.
right? And then it twists the knife, because as
Yep.
Peter jumps forward, the Goblin glider comes in and takes him off to the side, and you go, oh, no.
Yeah.
Just before it cuts to Andrew Garfield, and you go, oh, yes! And Andrew Garfield
Yeah.
jumps off the side of the building and gets his fucking redemption moment, and we get those just beautifully said lines at the end. Are you okay? Yeah. Are you? Yeah. It's... Yep. Thank you for coming back for this movie. Let's get a third Andrew Garfield movie,
Yep.
please. Get it in the works, Marvel. I
Yep.
want it now.
Hell, even if he's just Peter the whole time.
There is a
I don't care.
previs fight that I've seen for a brawl here that I assume would be here in the film between Toby and the Goblin, and I'm so fucking mad it's not in the movie.
Yeah.
Because damn, they don't really interact in this movie, and that sucks.
Yeah.
That is I think a lost opportunity. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's whatever. Ned gets saved by the cloak. He's
Yeah.
magic, and he's flying now.
Yep.
Again, I've literally wrote in here, can't wait to see him come back as a
Sorcerer
magic
Supreme
variant of the
Ned.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
CEO.
And then Strange is trying to seal the rifts. Tommy blows up the Goblin glider, and while everybody collects themselves, Tommy and Gibby start to fight. Okay, down on the little shield. I'm talking about Tom, Hoblin, and Goblin, of course, Nick. Tommy and Gibby, get on the fucking... get with the program, Nick, okay? The Machine Gun Kelly device, Tommy and Gibby.
Tommy.
Are we on the same page now?
Nope.
Cool.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're okay. We're starting the fight down on the shield, and dude, this is just a I would call the other fights we've had like knockdown drag out fights. I'd call this one a violent fight.
Yeah.
This is just fucking. It's full fist to jaw. Like it's
one-sided.
It's one-sided.
So
It's aggressively one-sided, and the Goblin seems to be enjoying that
Yep.
fact, even though he's losing.
So you know how earlier I said we're seeing a Peter not pulling his punches, and I retracted that.
Yeah.
This is why. This is the scene I went, oh wait, no. This is where we see him. Like when Peter does, I don't remember how he does it, but he does like the big like punch down.
Yep, he does like the jump up in the air, webs the ground, pulls himself down, and punches down. And the Goblin like rolls out of the way in time.
And then like Willem Dafoe's like his whistle he does right there. Like, oh.
Yep. It's. I read that whistle as almost like respect.
Yeah.
Like
No, if he
that
had
was
gotten
fucking
hit
close.
by
Yeah.
that,
Well, I think it's also Goblin going, I got under his skin.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
yeah,
not
I
holding
got to.
it
He's,
back.
oh, he's mad.
He's mad.
He's fucking mad.
Like he's mad.
Well,
mad.
because there's always a through line in superhero stories. This is in a lot of DC stories as well, with like Batman and the Joker, right? Batman and the Joker, the idea of like you're one bad day away, right? Everybody's one bad day away from being the Joker.
Yep.
And a lot of villains, when like they don't all say it because that's the Joker and Batman's thing, but a lot of villains are running on that principle of I'm going to give my hero their one bad day.
Yep.
And this is like the Goblin version of that. It feels like, and so. During this fight, Tom is just beaten. We get just like, I mean, the look on his face. He looks dead in the eyes as he's just wailing on the Goblin. He steps back and he grabs the glider. We see that he's about to make a choice that he can't unmake. And at that moment, Tobey Maguire jumps in with his old Tobey Maguire face and just gives us the most Tobey Maguire face I've ever seen in my life.
just the most like
It's the most just like. As he
Toby
stares at,
stare.
and I love it. Again,
Yeah.
I love Tobey Maguire. This is a really emotional scene for you, but
Yep.
it's a real Tobey Maguire face.
Yeah. Just the
Just the
intense
dead
Toby
stare.
Yeah.
And I love the choice that it was Toby, not only because it was his Goblin,
Yeah.
right? But also because it can't be Andrew.
Yeah.
Because Andrew has already made the choice to go too far.
Yep.
So for it to be Toby who steps in and goes, "No, we don't do this.
Yep.
This isn't how we work." It's not that Andrew couldn't have done it. It's just that thematically it feels right that it's the Spider-Man that still has held on to that. That's saving this other Spider-Man from falling.
Sure. Something else, a subtle thing. This truly is a Spider-Man versus Spider-Man pure strength, like little matchup.
And Toby fucking has him.
Yeah, Toby.
Because Tom's mad. And he's shoving that thing down, and Toby's just no.
And like he even like
No.
Yeah, you even see him like
He
like,
shoves it down.
Yeah, like
he pushes it towards Peter.
and like he's going in a direction like he's still trying to get into Green Goblin, and he's like, I'm going through you.
Yep.
I'm going to try.
Fuck you, I'm getting this guy.
Yes.
That's what the vibe is until you get the look from Toby. And again, I make fun of the face, but like it's a fucking it's like a paternal look.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah,
of like a
exactly.
hey, it's looking at him, it's like it's not even that I'm disappointed, it's like you're about fucking 2 seconds away from making me disappointed.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
you're about to
Don't
make a bad
do
decision.
this.
Stop.
at this moment, for his charity, he gets a fucking knife to the kidney from the goblin from behind. And in theaters, I'm going, don't fucking do this to me. If you kill Toby in this movie, I will rate it a fucking 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Get out of here, man.
That would have been
And then they
choice.
immediately turn it around on you because you get the line from Toby where he goes, it's okay, I've been stabbed before. And then you go, okay, no, he's gonna live, he's gonna live. And yeah, the rift is continuing to open.
Yeah.
Tom's like, we have to stop this, we have to stop this. So he goes up to Strange and he tells Strange, he goes, do the spell again, but this time make everybody forget who Peter Parker is. That's the only way to do this. It would work, right? And Steven goes, yeah, it would work. But everybody who knows and loves you, we.
Yeah, including
have
Strange
no
himself.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
everybody.
dude fucking fought a god in space.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, they've been... I mean, Peter's a kid, but like I feel like Strange views Peter like a nephew.
Yeah.
I think Strange views himself as, like, the cool uncle. Tony's the dad that Peter really looks up to. Strange is the cool uncle. Yeah, he's just...
No, look at him. He's
He's
logging the screen right now.
He's a cast member.
He's producing.
But he's
right
like
now.
he's like a cool uncle to Peter. I think that's how he would kind of view himself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's the uncle that brings the hand grenade to the 4th of July show. He's the uncle that will make the world forget that you're Spider-Man, right? Bring you down into the Undercroft where they shot an episode of The Equalizer in the 80s. But he has that great line read where he says, everybody that knows you and loves you, we would forget who you are. And he goes, I know. Do it. It's the only way.
Yeah.
Right? And we get just the... Spider-Man will always sacrifice for everybody else, right? And then we get some great wrap-up scenes. He goes down, he talks to the other Peter. Again, Tom Holland, just excellent performance here, where he's still such a kid. He's not a kid, but again, his performance is such a kid that, like, he's able to do the whole, like, stuttering through his speech. I don't know how to thank, I don't know how to say it enough. I thank you guys so much. It means so much, like... And then you see them both very calm, very very collected.
We know.
Peter, it's okay. We know.
Yeah.
It's what we do. It's what we fucking do.
Yep.
And it's at this moment, guys, I'm going to pause the plot recap for just a second, because I want to ask you guys, who's got the best fucking spider suit in this movie?
Ooh.
We got 3 suits, and I think we need to rank them.
So, boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
And then you go
Boom,
way
boom, boom.
down here, Tom Holland's.
See,
No, Iron Spider's bottom, but he's got a regular spider suit as well.
Disagree.
Well, okay, well, hang on. All right. Last spot is the hybrid suit. That's a hybrid with the nano and hybrid with, like,
We're
the
just gonna worry about the red and blues that they're wearing at this point. Just worry about.
But he's not that point.
Red and blacks. Sorry.
Well, no, but that is a suit pretty much for the movie.
I know.
Is the hybrid.
What do you mean the hybrid?
That's what he... Because remember when Doc Ock gives him the nanobots back?
Oh, right. Yeah, it does like the little spider thing across his chest. Right.
Looks so bad.
Okay. Well, we're just going to count 1 for each spider. That's the one we'll count for Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Andrew's, and then I think Toby's. Because there's something about, like, the texture with the webbing that I think nostalgia is what I grew up with. That I love so much. And seeing it in, like modern technology HD, so good, so clean.
What's your ranking, Chandler?
I think it'll honestly come out pretty much the same. I mean, I think my biggest gripe with the MCU spider suits is they're just kind of simplistic, or just kind of... and a lot of spider suits kind of have this issue, where they're just uninteresting.
A little bit of a nothing burger.
Just a little bit of a nothing, like, whatever. And I agree with Nick. I think the netting on the one of the original Spider-Man costumes, I think it just looks so good. And I love the texture and, like, the way that it looks. And it almost feels like it's more protective. It's more like he's got, like, almost like a... Not only like webbing on, or like cloth on him, but like almost like some kind of reinforced or like something there. Whereas, like, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and like, especially some of the red and blues that he wears, especially in the first movie, it's like he's just gonna get cut. It's like a sweater.
Yeah, like I think one of the reasons why I love Toby so much. I think he has the brightest colors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
I don't know, man. That shiny suit we see at the end of this movie is pretty fucking bright.
Okay,
that shiny ass blue suit. We'll get there.
If we're counting that,
we're not counting that suit, but we'll get there. I'm gonna piss you guys off real bad because I am a big Toby stan, but I think it's absolutely Andrew, Tom, Toby in this movie. Toby's suit I do not think looks good in this movie.
Really?
I've always had an issue with the Tobey Maguire suits. I love them. They are my favorite design for the Spider-Man suit. I love the raised webbing. I love how saturated the colors are. I love the way the mask looks. My problem with that Spider-Man suit is the thing that always happens when people touch it, which is that it pushes in like a pillow. It pushes in like a cushion. It's really noticeable if you go back and watch Spider-Man 2, the train scene when they're lifting Toby.
Yeah.
It looks like they're lifting a doll.
Yes.
And it reminds me a lot of the material that like the old costumes you could get for Spider-Man were when you were like 7 and they had like the padded muscles.
Yeah.
And they make me... BMO!
Oi!
Knock that off!
BMO.
Ew!
Give us like... BMO, give us like 30 minutes.
Just a little bit longer, mate.
30 minutes.
A little bit longer,
most.
mate. Please, baby. Please. I don't like that effect, and I think it's worse in this movie and more noticeable, and it's still happening. You're going to be able to hear him in the background. We're just going to have to move past it today. We'll figure out a better... We'll figure out a better situation.
I didn't... You know what's bad? I didn't even notice that time.
Yeah, it was still good.
No.
But I think Andrew, I think, is maybe the... I have a personal favorite live action suit, which is the Tobey Maguire suit, but I think Andrew's is maybe objectively the best suit for Spider-Man we've ever seen, specifically his Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Just I think it's the most comic accurate. I think it really shows off like how slender and agile Spider-Man can be while still feeling like a suit. I'll agree that Tom Holland, the biggest issue I have with his suits is that the lining is so thin that you don't get the web effect very much. That's been Rate the Suit, everybody.
Yeah.
We might join that. We might try that again sometime.
Rate the Suit.
But I would say then that since you guys outvote me for this one, though, our official ranking for these suits, whatever, is, what was it? Was it Andrew, Toby, Tom, or Tom, Toby, Andrew?
Andrew, or no,
or Andrew.
No, Toby, Andrew, Tom.
Yeah.
Toby, Andrew, Tom is the official
no,
ranking.
yeah. Andrew, Toby, Andrew, Tom.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Nick. I really don't like the dog
Sorry,
suit.
I hate that suit.
But that's okay,
so
because
much.
we just have the nice little rejoining. We're back to the plot recap now. We have their nice little rejoining. They thank him, and then they like... sorry, I missed it. I dropped this line earlier when Toby's stabbed and on the floor, and he goes, "Am I dying, or is that really happening?" And he looks up at the sky. No, that's really happening.
That's really
But as they're fading away, he goes... Andrew goes, "You're in so much pain, aren't you?" And he goes, "I'm in so much pain." And then we get a really heartbreaking scene to follow a great one of MJ and Ned learning what's going to happen.
I have never almost cried over a handshake before.
Peter walks up and he says, "You guys are going to forget everything." And I love MJ in this moment immediately hopping into problem-solving mode and going, no, what can we do? What can we do?
There's got to be another way.
There's got to be another way. What are our options? And Peter goes, "I'm sorry. It's
We're
already
out of
done.
time.
We're
It's
out of
already
time.
happened."
This has to happen now."
No.
And he goes to say, "I love you." And she says, "Stop. Tell me when you see me again." Right? Because he says, "I'm going to come find you.
Yeah.
Don't worry. This is not the end. I'm coming to find you guys." Okay? And she even has that great line where she says... "You better come find me, because otherwise I'll just figure it all out again. I can do it. I did it before."
Yep.
And then they forget. And Peter swings away.
Yep.
And the rest of the villains fade into a golden glow. The Spider-Mans fade into a golden glow. Yeah, the world has forgotten the identity of Spider-Man in the wake of this new spell.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut to a nice snowy day. As Peter walks down the street of New York City towards a coffee shop, he's rehearsing a letter in which he's explaining to MJ and Ned, "Hey, I'm Peter Parker. You don't remember this. You don't know me, but you actually do know me. I'm Spider-Man." He looks down at his letter. He starts reading, and he goes, "The story of my life? You sure you want to know? It's not for the faint of heart. Some would say... some might even say it's not a happy little tale," or whatever the fuck the monologue is from the start of Spider-Man 1. I really fucked it up. I didn't write it down.
I was like, I just watched that this morning. The fuck?
You're like, when did they say any of this? But as he gets into the coffee shop, he notices, one, that they're in MIT. They seem to be happy. And as he goes to the counter and he starts to order his coffee, and it looks like he's maybe going to try to start forcing the words out, he looks up and he sees the bandaged cut on her forehead from the fight at the Statue of Liberty, and you see Peter make a choice. And Peter says, she goes, anything else? And he goes, no, thank you. And he grabs his coffee and he walks out of the shop. And he walks back into a shitty apartment, a shitty New York apartment. He's got GED books because nobody remembers his name, so he doesn't have a fucking high school diploma.
Yep.
He sets out the little mini figure of Senator Palpatine from, or I guess it's not Senator Palpatine, it's
Just Palpatine.
just Palpatine.
Darth Sidious.
Yeah, sets it out on his desk, the one that him and Ned had been building with the Lego Death Star all the way back in Homecoming. We see that he's been working on a suit, which seems like it has some color inspirations from the other Spider-Mens that he met. And also, I'm going to say this, I think it is a missed opportunity to not have this be at least a somewhat recreation of Tobey's apartment. I get kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
Right, but like maybe if just like the layout was the same
Yeah.
and it was like decorated for Tom, right?
Yeah.
I think that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. It's okay. It is what it is. Or even if we gotten like Mr. Ditkovich in the background being like rant,
Yeah.
that would have been really fun.
Yeah.
Like, but I get it. We're having a somber moment now.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Tom puts on the suit, the new suit. I guess
Homemade suit.
we can just call him Peter now because he's
the only
our
one.
Peter now.
Yeah.
Puts on the homemade suit and goes out for one last glorious swing in a suit that I really liked at the time, and now, to be honest, too shiny.
Yeah, it's
Too shiny.
I think it's a great looking suit. I think we saw too little of it.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
really also do like a good judgment.
It's also like more reflective in the snow. I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
probably what they were going for.
I do also agree for it being as homemade that literally just made it. It is very shiny.
Real
I'm
shiny.
like, what did he make that out of?
Yeah, what's the material?
Yeah.
I like the red color and I like the blue color. I just wish it was maybe a little bit more dull.
Really?
Just the sheen on it.
The
I
sheen.
wish
Oh,
they
the
dulled
sheen for sure.
on the blue. I like the color of the blue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We get and then we roll credits.
Yeah.
We get some beautiful animation
Yep.
over the credits. I actually watched the entire credits thing that they had because it's just all throwback
Yeah.
animation to all these wonderful cast members that have come back to bring their legacy forward into the MCU and also look backward with it. And then, frankly, unfortunately, our post credit scenes are underwhelming.
Yeah. Honestly, we don't have to talk about it.
Well, we're going to.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it because
were there
covering
multiple?
we're covering the entire one. Yes, there actually were. I don't know if there's multiple on the one that we watched, like the digital version we had, but there were multiple in theaters. So the first one is a post-credit scene, a Venom cameo, because if you saw Venom 2, Venom got sucked into the MCU, and we all thought that he was going to be a part of it. Sinister Six. He was fucking in
right
Mexico
there.
or something. But he has like a funny little conversation with the guy or whatever. It's kind of funny or whatever. Where he's like, "Oh, aliens aren't purple and they don't love rocks or whatever."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You killed my whole family."
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. Then Venom gets sent back. A little bit of the symbiote gets left behind, which I don't love, but it's okay. We're moving past it. And then the second post-credit scene in theaters was a Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer.
Right.
And the reason I wanted to talk about our post-credit scenes today is because I heard a rumor, and I don't have this verified or anything like that, but I heard a rumor that the original intent was to have the post-credit scenes be vignettes of the Spider-Men back in their universes. And I think if that is the case, real fucking missed
We
opportunity.
really should have got.
Really missed opportunity. I would have killed to see like the lens flare look of the Sam Raimi world and to see Peter and MJ again for just a split second. I don't want to see them fight a villain or anything like that. Just let them exist in a world that tonally feels like theirs.
Yeah. Oh my god. And you know what's totally could have been cool? We see Mayday.
Yeah.
What doesn't have to be anything insane. Just like, hey,
Just a
where has
glimpse.
the beanie?
Just a glimpse.
Yeah.
Just a kid with a beanie.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. We are at the end of our plot recap, which means we're going to move into our last segment here, folks. Our categories. We're going to give us our real-time ranking. We're going to go ahead and explain the real-time ranking first, though. Okay. We've got 6 categories, folks. We ranked this film based on enjoyment, plot, characters, atmosphere, rewatchability, and excitement. Excitement meaning like excitement for the continuation of the franchise. All of these we had 3 points to give. We could do 0.5s, but that was the only way we were like dividing, so there's no 0.7 or anything like that. It's just flat 0.0, 0.5. it can either have a 0, a 0.5, a 1, a 1.5, a 2, a 2.5, or a 3.
Yeah. Those 1 through 6.
That's because that's how it worked out on the form that I sent you, but it's actually out of 3. Each star is a 0.5.
Oh, I misunderstood that.
I explained it all on the patio earlier.
No, I misunderstood how it worked. Then.
Yeah.
I see.
That's
Okay.
okay. It still works out the same way. If
Yeah.
you gave it a 5.5, it just shakes out to a 2.5. Each star is worth 0.5.
Yeah.
Sorry, you couldn't give it a 5.5 in stars. If you gave it a 5 in stars, it shakes out to a 2.5.
Oh, I severely underrated everything. No, I misunderstood how that worked.
Wait, what?
Okay. I want everybody who's watching this to know that I wrote this and I sent it in the Discord like a week ago. They had so much opportunity to ask questions and they asked none. I said, how does this look for everybody? And they said, looks great, Nick.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't fucking know what I'm talking about. So there's 6 stars on the Google form because I can only you can't put a half star on the Google form, right? The point system is out of 3. It either gets a 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what I was. Oh, I thought
There's 6 categories.
That's okay.
3 stars.
Okay.
So, nobody needs to give their individual score for each category, but we're just gonna go through one by one through the categories, and we'll give our final thoughts on that category,
Yeah,
and then I'll give what the final average score is for real time. So we'll start with enjoyment. Chandler, how do you feel your enjoyment of Spider-Man: No Way Home is after a rewatch? After we've sat here and talked about it for 3.5 hours.
I mean, I absolutely enjoyed this movie for sure. I think I gave it a 2.5 out of 3. I think the only reason I didn't give it the full 3 was because I am not as big of a Spider-Man fan as you guys are. I didn't really get into the comics quite as much. Like, I liked the Sam Raimi movies. I liked The Amazing Spider-Man, but I probably watched them maybe once or twice when I was a kid, And so, I'd love to see the good cinema and everything, but, and I enjoyed the fan service for sure. I was there for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really the only reason it didn't get the full 3, but amazing movie. Would watch it as many times as...
Frankly, I'd turn it on right now.
Yeah, genuinely.
Nick, your enjoyment?
It's a really fun movie.
Really fun.
It's really good. It's good because it's fun.
I would echo that exact same sentiment. Yeah. If it was even just a little bit less fun, it would not be a good movie.
Yeah. Because I think the as Chandler said, that was good fan service.
Yep, they did it right.
Yep.
Plot. I'll start this one off. I think this one has a pretty weak plot.
Yeah.
I think the plot is serviceable to get us from point A to point B. Yep. And point B is where we really want to be. So by the time we're there, we kind of forget that how we got there was maybe a little silly and contrived.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, a lot of superhero movies are silly and contrived. This one, I think it does it so it can get us to a through point that I'm very happy with.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll pop it back. Nick, your plot thoughts? Thought plot?
On this rewatch, definitely a lot lower than what I would have originally said.
Yep.
Now that I'm years off of the initial hype, being able to see the plot for what it is a bit more.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely probably gave it. Would have been like a.
We don't have to give our individual ratings
Yeah.
for the categories. Really, we just want to worry about that final rating.
Yeah.
Chandler, for plot.
For my plot rating, I think with this plot, I think it was interesting. Something you mentioned earlier was about the antagonists, and when you think about the antagonists in this film, it's like, yes, there's all these villains, right? But they're not necessarily what they just are happening to be there because of some actions that Tom Spider-Man took early on in the film, and so a lot of it is just cleanup for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think that most of the story from this film comes from the arc that Tom Holland's Peter goes through, from going from, I don't want people to forget me, I want to have my special, I want things to be back the way they were, to kind of accepting that he can't have both lives, he can't live both lives and keep them separate like that.
Yeah.
It's just inevitable that they will bleed into each other.
For characters, I think that we have some pretty strong character performances in here. I don't know that the characters are that strong. They're all kind of archetypal, and they're really pretty one note when you boil a lot of it down. I think a lot of our attachment to especially the legacy characters is that we're reading into their performances, and they're good performances. I'm not taking away from that. I don't necessarily know that they're given that much on the page in this script to like work with, especially when you think about like how deep of a character Alfred Molina is in Spider-Man 2. We get a lot of catharsis from this movie in the sense of like the scene where the voices are gone, right? We talked so much about that scene. Great scene, but I don't know that outside of that revelation he's given much to work with, and I feel kind of the same for a lot of the villains, and especially the other Spider-Men too. They don't really have arcs. But the ones who get arcs in this movie, I think the arcs are pretty fucking good. Peter's arc is great. Aunt May is kind of finishing like a 3-movie arc here. Peter's also kind of finishing a 3-movie arc. So I would say characters is kind of like in between, but when they do it well, they do it well, and everything else is pretty inoffensive.
Sure.
Chandler?
I think that this movie kind of suffers from like the Infinity War Endgame thing, where there's so many characters that we're trying to give their due diligence.
Right.
You kind of end up with a lot of them end up being spreading a lot more thin than you might hope. It's like, whereas like Thor in Endgame has like 11 minutes of screen time or something crazy like that. And don't get me wrong, there's a few standout characters. Like we mentioned this. I think Willem Dafoe is a brilliant actor, and I think that the Goblin, for how he kind of stands, and in my mind, the Goblin is the quintessential like Spider-Man villain.
Oh yeah, he's the Batman's Joker. He's Spider-Man's Joker.
He's the Spider-Man's Joker. So you're right. I think a lot of this movie is wrapping up some old storylines and even some like catharsis from like really long time ago storylines, and
talk about catharsis from old movies, like going into the Toby Andrew thing where he goes, "Stop, you are amazing." Like that's literally them being like, "Let's heal this fucking wound."
And there's a lot of payoff in this movie because there's so many storylines that are kind of concluded, but almost like, and we mentioned this earlier, like. What's it called when you like go back on something?
Retcon.
Retcon, like a couple retcons almost.
For sure.
About like their deaths and how that plays out.
I also don't love how they don't like give Toby and Andrew more to chew on. Like I almost wish they had given them more history outside of what they had done. Nick, characters.
I'd say it's weird. I'd say it's like...
would you say it's strange?
No, it's so weird.
No,
I would say it's like a third good characters, a third kind of some bad characterizations, and a third a bunch of characters are just kind of there to be like
bad characterizations too, because I don't think either of us mentioned any bad characterizations.
Mainly just Sandman and Lizard.
Yeah, I would agree with those.
Yeah,
they're a little bit nothing burger characters.
Yeah. They're there because they're the legacy they're legacy characters, and I think something I thought about going into the Andrew Toby showing up scene. That scene, I think the reason why they weren't given much, I think. Getting Andrew and Toby on came later in production.
Probably.
And so I think that's why it's kind of... their scene when they're introduced, kind of clunky. I think when it's introduced, is kind of clunky. I think they had a perfect opportunity to make this a bit more of a Spider-Man team-up movie.
Yeah.
Than they did. Because overall, I love how they showed up. I love when they showed up. I love why they showed up.
Right.
But it could, looking back now, it could have been better.
Okay. I agree.
And so I think that's why. And so again, though, like the third that's really good. I think May's acting was phenomenal. I think
Tom Holland,
phenomenal.
Alfred Molina,
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd say it's really... Actually, I'd really say it's more closer to 50-50. I wouldn't say there's any bad characterizations, but I feel like it was half really good and half characters that are there.
That's fair.
You know, I feel like also Ned and MJ kind of were just kind of there this movie a little bit.
Really?
A bit.
Oh, you felt Ned and MJ were kind of just there. I have in my notes that I love Ned and MJ in this movie.
I didn't say I don't love them. I'm just saying plot-wise, they're there.
We're not talking about plot. We're just talking about characters.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is like, and I think that is that they kind of end up just being kind of there a bit more. I still love the characters.
Right.
I still thought they were great. They were still written how they were supposed to be written. Yeah.
Okay. We'll move into our fourth category, atmosphere, and this one's kind of a smaller one. So let's not dig too deep into this one.
Yeah.
But I'll give it real succinctly. I love a Christmas movie. I love a holiday movie. I think they underutilize the snow. I like Spider-Man in the snow, and I don't think there's enough of it in this movie.
Okay.
We get that great scene of him swinging at the end. We get some like very festive scenes of like things are wintry happening around. But I think of some scenes in this movie, and I'm like, how much more poignant would it be if it was like snowing at the Statue of Liberty, and there was like little bits of snow and dust like crumbling into the shield with Captain America? Like, I think that would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
Nick, atmosphere.
Honestly, atmosphere I thought it was good. I thought it was solid. There, it was. I don't think there was a lot that really stood out. It was just like this could have taken place during summer. This could take place during winter.
Right.
It could have taken place in fall.
I think it was supposed to be like late fall heading into winter, because I think by the time we get like the snow scene, it's like maybe like a month or two later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like fully in the winter time.
But yeah.
Chandler, for atmosphere?
I think I was more impressed by kind of the emotional atmosphere of this movie.
Okay.
I think that there's definitely
Well, that's not what the category is, so I'm joking.
Motherfucker. The category is what I make it.
Terrible atmosphere. Or terrible category.
Terrible sandwich, by the way.
Because I mean, there's just those couple scenes where I think they do such a good job of showing Tom's internal struggle, almost like reflected in his environment, and the way that the cinematography is, and like especially when the few scenes I can think off the top of my head, the scene at the beginning when he's in the hallway and everybody's pointing the phones at him, and he's just like, "Yeah, my life's over."
Yeah.
The scene in the condo when he gets the Spidey sense and it like zooms in on his face and he's like freaking out. He's like,
Yeah.
Fuck, shit's gotta go wrong. Something's bad's happening. Something's not right. I need to figure out what it is. You know, I think that's cool. End of the movie when he's wailing on him, when he's just laying into him and just like letting him go. I think that they going from that to the acceptance of this is I have to choose, and I'm choosing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I would describe the emotional atmosphere of this film as thick. I would describe it as like a thick emotional. It like you could cut through this fucking shit.
Yeah.
With a knife.
2 more categories left. We got rewatchability. Also, kind of a short one. I would say that this film, its second 2/3, or sorry, it's second and third thirds.
2/3 of
The last 2/3
the last
of this
2/3.
movie
Yeah.
are infinitely rewatchable.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first third of this movie is kind of slow. I think the first maybe 45 minutes to an hour of this movie, I'm just sitting there going, when do we get to the bridge?
Yeah.
When does Doc Ock show up?
Yeah.
When are these villains coming so we can start this actual
Yep.
progressing along? A lot of the first 45 minutes feel like wrap up from the last movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is that when you pick up immediately from the last movie, I think that's what you deal with.
Yeah.
It's like okay, yep, you know, I can't even remember what it was the one before this.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
It was literally him getting revealed, and then we pick up like right
and then it's
there.
like, oh,
Yeah.
he's Peter Parker, and now we're in
Yeah.
No Way Home. You know.
Thoughts on rewatchability for you, Chandler?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, this is not a movie I've rewatched a bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good movie to, like, if you want to just like watch a good Spider-Man movie. It's got all the cool people in it. You know, that's
it's like a sampler platter of Spider-Man.
Yes, yeah. It's like
You're gonna get a little bit of everything.
try a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Taste our course.
Yeah.
Nick, for rewatchability for you, how are you feeling?
I agree with your 2/3, like latter 2/3 thing.
Right.
I think one of two things could have saved the first third. One, like I said earlier, a court scene with Daredevil.
Yes.
And then I think, or like you said, a fight with like a like C level street or like a street level villain.
Yeah, like do you remember?
But I think, well, hang on. I think if they had I think what they could have done, they could have had just shown a little bit more time in between him getting revealed and him going back to school, showing how this has affected his Spider-Maning. It's like maybe he's fighting, like say you said, Shocker, and
I'm right there with you because imagine a scene,
and like a random citizen gets hurt.
Or imagine a scene where Peter, having been unmasked, is now like going out and he's fighting like the Condiment King or some shit like that, like something stupid.
Or maybe
he's like, he's crossing over with DC.
And is Condiment King DC?
Yeah,
that's who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Honestly, there's a good chance.
It's this guy who shoots glue out of his guns. I don't remember what his name is, but he's fighting Condiment King. We'll say it's a crossover, right? And like Condiment King says some shit like calls him out on being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could have been really interesting and really fun.
Yeah.
I miss you remember when the MCU used to just throw like shit villains at us like Crossbones at the start of Civil War?
Yeah,
and just be like, Crossbones is not getting his own movie, but here's Crossbones.
Yeah,
like I miss that. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on rewatchability?
Oh yeah. I think it is a movie. I don't think it's a movie that is going to go down as anyone's. Yeah, I rewatch this once a year kind of movies.
Yeah, I'm not rewatching
like,
it as much as the other movies.
Yeah, but I think it's rewatchable. It's like, hey, if someone goes, hey, you want to sit and watch this? I'm like, hell yeah.
It's a movie that if somebody was ever like, I've seen all the Spider-Mans, but I've never seen Spider-Man No Way Home, I'd be like, put that shit on.
This is I do think this movie is Spider-Man homework.
It's Spider-Man homework now, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Last category, we've got excitement. And again, this is excitement for the future of the franchise. I would say, especially coming off of this one, and especially knowing kind of where we're going in Brand New Day, we've seen that trailer. We kind of know that this is a direct continuation of that story. Peter's going to be real alone and real sad in that movie. I'm real fucking excited. Watching this movie again made me realize how much I don't want them to make this movie again. I enjoyed this movie a lot. If we get another Tobey and Andrew scene in Spider-Man Brand New Day, it's not going to be good.
Like, how do you mean?
It's just not going to feel good.
If we see them again.
Yeah, it was such an event in this movie that if they show up in the next Spider-Man movie, I've heard rumors that they might be in Doomsday, whatever, yada yada. That could be interesting, right? Especially if they're bringing back like the old X-Men and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That could be interesting for different reasons.
Absolutely.
But if they show up in the next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, it feels bad.
Yeah.
So the idea that we're getting much more of like a street level, Spider-Man is Spider-Man, he's got his secret identity, we're going against the Scorpion, we're going against the Chameleon, right? Yep. Boom. I'm fucking here for it. I'm sold.
Yep.
I'll go.
Who wants excitement?
I always love a good soft reboot, I think. Especially when it's such a beloved story and it's like we've completed an arc. We've done the story. Now let's explore a different avenue that this character might be able to take.
Right.
And let's look at a more maybe potentially mature story for him to go through. And
I'm not gonna lie, bro, in that trailer, Tom Holland looks drugged out.
Yeah.
He's got like sunken in eyes, like he's got real dark circles around his eyes. He looks messed up.
Well, and he's going through changes.
He's going
through
changes.
And like there's one short cut scene from or the short scene from the trailer where he's like got webbed up like in the middle of an alley, like above the alleyway, in like a cocoon, and it's like I'd love to see that more like naturalistic Spider-Man and how that plays into because now it's almost like maybe it's because he made the choice to go full Spider-Man to have everybody
that's really interesting
that he's kind of unlocked more potential and maybe the webs are just the tip of it, you know. I think he does have kind of some other abilities that come into play, but we'll see.
Nick, excitement for the future?
So from rewatching this,
right,
I'm not gonna lie, it did not make me excited. Rewatching it now did not make me excited for the future of his Spider-Man movie.
You're not excited for Brand New Day specifically after watching this movie? Not excited for Brand New Day in general, but not excited from watching this movie.
Yeah. It made me realize I don't know why, but I got a weird sense of finality from the end of this movie.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I also got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if they never made another Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, I feel like that could have been... It wouldn't be like, you know,
Yeah.
a nice bow on top, but it would be a good close.
Yeah.
Because, like, hey, we know he go... But because it is in the universe that we know is going to keep going, you can't not make it.
Yeah. I agree.
But I am so excited for Brand New Day.
I think I was less excited for the future of Brand New Day until I saw the trailer, and then I was like, oh, they are doing kind of what I want them to do, which is making Peter... Like, listen, we all love Peter, but there's, like, a weird relationship between Spider-Man fans and Peter Parker where, like, we want to see him suffer.
Yep.
He's got to suffer.
Yep.
If he's not suffering enough, it's not a good story.
He broke the mirror.
He broke the mirror.
I want depressed Tom Holland, Peter Parker. That's what I want. I'm sorry.
With that being said, guys, we've gone through all of our categories now. I went through and I added up all of our review scores earlier. Now remember, this is out of 3 stars.
Yeah.
We can do 0.5, so it can be a 0.5, a 1, a 1.5, a 2, a 2.5, or a 3.
Yeah.
Right? 3 being the best, 0 obviously being fucking dog shit. Okay, I don't know what movie's gonna get a 0, but we'll find one. We'll find one. We'll watch Morbius again.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll put on Kraven. Okay? But I did the math.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man No Way Home ends with an official real-time rating of 2.5.
2.5.
Pretty fucking good movie. We really enjoyed this
Yeah.
one. Again, we've had some issues with it, but clearly we liked the movie enough. We talked about it for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and do our sign-off. But before we do our sign-off, I have one last question for you guys. And this is about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Do we think we're going full Man-Spider?
Do you think we're going to get Man-Spider?
Do we think we're doing Man-Spider? I mean, not a shot, but, like, do we think we're getting Man-Spider?
How like, to the level... Are you saying, like, Tom Holland's going to go Man-Spider?
You think Tom Holland's going Man-Spider?
There's going to be another...
Well, because do you remember? So in the '90s animated show, which I don't think you've seen all of, we watched a little bit, but there's a storyline where Spider-Man goes full Man Spider and like grows an extra couple arms, and gets a spider face. And it starts with him like his webs getting fucked up and going like organic and weird. I think
if we do,
he's in a cocoon in the trailer, guys.
I think if we do, it's a dream sequence.
Yeah, I can see that.
Also,
that'd be really fun.
Yeah. Real quick before we wrap up as well. Something you made me think of. What if while he's in the cocoon, he starts having visions about the Great Web?
What if he turns into the Butterfly Man?
The Great Web.
Anyways, guys,
and that's where, and then maybe they start slowly setting up a proper Madam Web and whatnot.
You see him interrupt my sign off?
What? You were interrupting me. I wasn't done.
Right I'm joking.
I wasn't fucking done.
Well, anyways, guys, that has been the episode 0, really probably episode 1. There's probably no way this isn't getting posted after 4 hours. It was talking
episode
about this movie.
0.5.
Episode 0.5.
Yeah.
What is this? We're doing real-time real reviews?
Something like
real
that.
reviews with real time?
We'll workshop
Something
it.
like that. We'll workshop
Yeah.
it. Anyways, guys, it's been real time, or we've been real time,
And it's been real.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.